Opening game for the Bears and the Packers back on September 7th. Chester Marcol of the Packers has his field goal try blocked by Alan Page of the Bears, but it comes right back to him. And Marcol runs 25 yards for the winning touchdown in overtime as the Pack beat the Bears. It was to be that kind of a season for the Chicago Bears, a nightmarish beginning that didn't end. 2 weeks ago, Walter Payton driving for the goal line against Atlanta in what would have been a 10-point commanding margin. He stopped near the goal line, but still has possession as his knee touches. It's ruled a fumble, later reversed by the league, but the score remains the same. Atlanta wins it. Today, from Soldier Field in Chicago, Illinois, the NFL on CBS presents the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Here is a look at the crowded Central Division picture. Detroit and Minnesota, they're tied for first place. The loser here today will be home for Christmas. Hello everyone, Tim Ryan and Johnny Morris here at Soldier Field. Gray skies, unseasonably warm temperatures. Last week, the Green Bay Packers lost a crucial one to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were there. It was not a good performance by the Pack.
No, in fact, Packer coach Bart Starr said his team didn't play with any spunk, and as you know, they had had 8 straight games of over 300 yards on offense. He says the team has got to get back on the track, and we know that the team that loses today is out of the Central Division.
Of course, the Chicago Bears coming off a dramatic overtime victory over the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, wasn't that some game?
Sure was.
A great rally by the Chicago Bears to beat the Detroit Lions. And, of course, Dave Williams with that 95-yard kickoff return in overtime. And he said he thinks that's going to be the spark to help the Bears the rest of the way.
I think it gave us a big lift last week. And going into these final 3 games, I think it's going to make it gives us the positive note that we need. We've got to win our next 3 just to give ourselves a chance for the playoffs.
Well, of course, they've got to get some help. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are giving it to them right now. The score down there in the second period, Tampa Bay leading Minnesota 10-0. And so we'll be keeping you updated on that score, and of course the Detroit-St. Louis game as well as we go along here this afternoon in Chicago. The Bears are going to receive. They're defending to our left in their dark uniforms. The Green Bay Packers in white and gold to our right. And it will be Jan Stenerud, the new place kicker for the Pack. He joined them last week kicking it off. Dave Williams will be the receiver. And of course, he leads the NFC in kickoff returns and had that 95-yard score to win against Detroit on Thanksgiving Day. Matt Suey and Ricky Watts are the up men standing at the 5-yard line. We are underway in Chicago. Stenerud slipped, and a short kickoff is taken by Robert Fisher. The tight end gets out to the 35-yard line. A greasy field here in Chicago. They had a heavy rainstorm last night, and that rain has left this field in the kind of shape that they had to squeegee it off this morning just prior to the game. Bruce Beakley made the tackle for Green Bay.
They had the Zamboozy, I think that's what you call it, was out here trying to squish the water off the field, but it is going to be a little slippery. As you saw, Stenerud went right down, and of course some of the pass receivers and the running backs are going to have some problems. That will have an effect on this football game as the Chicago Bears have a first down. There's the offensive line.
All right, and of course it is Vince Evans at quarterback with Walter Payton and Roland Harper as running backs, Scott and Bashnagel the wide receivers, Robin Earl the tight end. Evans really rolling in recent weeks. Roland Harper takes it to the 40-yard line for a pickup of 6 yards on the play, bringing up 2nd and 4 as we look at Vince Evans. And he has thrown 8 touchdown passes, had 10 intercepted. Currently a rating of 68.1, but a little bit deceiving because he has improved week to week and has been the hot man for them in the past month or so. As we look at the Green Bay Packers defensive line, Butler and Charles Johnson on the nose, Ezra Johnson on the other end. And the linebackers, Gano, Allerman, O'Neill, and Douglas. Walter Payton's first carry of the game. He's met at the line of scrimmage. And it was Ed O'Neill, the linebacker, with Mike Butler, the defensive end, number 77, making the stop, and very little gain on the play. Let's call it a half a yard. The secondary for the Pack, Estes Hood, Mike McCoy on the corners, Steve Luke and Johnny Gray are the safeties. And they bring in a whole slew of substitutes here. Extra defensive backs are in. Mark Lee, Mike Jolly, and Wiley Turner all come in. As they are looking for pass on 3rd and a long 3 for the Chicago Bears opening series. Lots of time for Evans, complete. Dave Williams out of the backfield. Inside the 45 to the 41-yard line of Green Bay.
So the Bears bag a first down right off as Dave Williams comes in on third down situation, comes out of the backfield. You're going to see Michael Douglas, number 53. There's the linebacker. He's covering. He will slip as Williams cuts to the outside. He slips down here trying to make the tackle as Williams comes back to the inside and goes for the first down. Dave Williams, the Chicago Bears, who haven't scored a touchdown on offense against Green Bay in over 3 games. Can you believe that?
Mike Douglas, the man to pull him down. First down on an 18-yard gain by the Bears. They're at the 41 of Green Bay. Ashnagle in motion, and Payton hit behind the line. A flag is down. Slicing through was the linebacker Jim Gano, number 51, to put the hit on him. And then Kurt Allerman following in behind. Preliminary signal is offside against the Green Bay Packers, and we think it was probably the linebacker Mike Douglas. And we do want to report what you may find out momentarily, that we're having a problem with the referee's microphone today. The referee is Chuck Heberling. Gordon Wells, Ray Dodez, Dale Oram, Al Jury,
Offside.
Dave Perry, and Charlie Musser.
Number 53. First down.
Are the rest of the officials, and miraculously, through the magic of television, the sound has returned on our referee's microphone.
And all of a sudden, the Bears are down to the 36-yard line of Green Bay.
1st and 5. Wide left is Watts. They shift to the I formation. Harper, the lead back. Play action. Evans, again, lots of time. Sideline to Harper. Harper hit immediately by Estes Hood. Good coverage on the play by Green Bay, and he did not get very much at all. It'll be close to the first down. Well, it's going to be a little more than a 4-yard pickup, or they spot it. It's going to be close to the first down. And as they take a measurement, they'll remind you that Tampa Bay leading Minnesota 10-0 in the second period of that game.
Boy, that's a big one as far as both of these teams are concerned. If the Vikings win one more game, the Bears are out of it, and the Vikings have to lose 2 for Green Bay to stay in it, as Chicago Bears have a first down.
So Harper, with a little extra effort, got himself about 5.5 yards and the important first down. Look at this score. The Redskins leading San Diego 17-7 in the second period. Long interception return for a touchdown started them on their way.
And the Cincinnati Bengals 21-0 over the Colts. It looks like a few upsets are in the making on this Sunday afternoon.
So it is first down as we look quickly at the Falcons and Eagles score. The Bears driving on their opening series. They're at the 31 of Green Bay. Shift to the pro set. Rolling out is Evans. He wants to run it, and he is forced out of bounds. There'll be a loss of about 1 yard on the play as Evans had nowhere to go. That looked like run all the way.
I think that was an audible call, a change of the play at the line of scrimmage, as the Packers went right up in there to that gap defense. They bring everybody up there, fill all the gaps, and then they dropped out of it. In the meantime, Evans was calling his audible and was going to run out of all the traffic, and the Packers were waiting for it.
Jim Gano, number 51, the man to force him out of bounds. Ricky Watts comes in with the play. Bashnagel comes out. Watts and Scott, the wide receivers now for Chicago. Second down and 11. Scott goes left. Watts to the right, number 80, and the tight end Robin Earl now in motion back to the near sideline. Evans again, lots of time up the middle. Watts incomplete. Ricky Watts just couldn't hold on. The ball delivered to him at the 12-yard line. Johnny Gray on the coverage.
The pass was there, and that's the kind you got to hang on to. It would have been a first down the field. And did you notice the Green Bay pass rush? 2 of their defensive linemen slipped on trying to get to the passer. So when you have that kind of a situation, the advantage is throw the ball, throw the ball.
Soldier Field, of course, an artificial surface. It is slippery from the heavy rains last night, but these teams can't complain about the weather for December in Chicago. Temperatures in the 50s. Dave Williams is in the lineup. Harper is out for the Bears on 3rd and 11. Slot formation left, 3 wide receivers. For Williams, complete. Out of bounds at about the 31. They did not get very much on that, if anything at all.
Well, that play really went awry. As you see, James Scott and Dave Williams were both over there within about 1 yard of one another, and that's not the way that pass pattern was drawn up, and it draws a lot of people, and the Packers were right on it as the Bears now have a 4th down situation. Here's another look from the end zone, and Evans goes over to the safety valve, but you're going to see Williams, and there is Scott. And when they go back to the to the sidelines. They'll talk about that one for a while.
So the Pack has stopped the Bears on their first drive. Parsons comes in to punt. He is standing at the Green Bay 46-yard line. Ron Cassidy, number 88, is the deep man, but he's kind of the short man here.
It's hard to believe they're going to punt from the 32-yard line.
Flags are down everywhere, and Parsons looks very unhappy about that, and that may be, Johnny, because I think you were suspecting maybe they had something else in mind.
I think they were going to try and give Parsons an option of passing or running or something, and they took too much time. Was that a delay of game call?
Well, the flag was down and evidently was delay of game, and so the Bears a little unhappy about this development, particularly if they did have something other than a punt in mind.
Fourth down.
Word on Ricky Watts is that he has a dislocated finger on that last pass that was thrown to him, the one that he couldn't hold. We expect that he'll be back in. Now Parsons backed up into Bears territory. He's standing at the 49. Angling now for the corner. The ball comes into the middle of the field. Gray fair catches it at the 4-yard line of the Packers. He seemed to hesitate as to what play to make. It turned out well for Chicago.
Actually, a punt returner is usually told not to fair catch the ball inside the 10-yard line, but it was such a short punt, and they covered it so well. I think he was afraid that they would cover and down it. So it's going to be Green Bay's ball on the 5.
Finally, there's a fuel-efficient, mid-sized car whose luxury feels more like a full-sized car. Introducing the Cougar 4-door from Lincoln Mercury. 4 doors is one thing.
I was the boss. I used to feed him, dress him, get him to bed on time. Now I treat him to our favorite beer, right?
Light beer from Miller.
Light's got a third less calories than the regular beer. And what else?
It's less filling, Red.
And they really like the taste. Another beer, anyone?
Yeah, do it.
What's the magic word? Please.
Tim Bryant and Johnny Morris in Chicago. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Chicago Bears and the National Football League is prohibited. Green Bay will start 1st and 10 from their own 4-yard line while it's spotted right on the 5 following the fair catch by Gray. Lynn Dickey brings them out. Gary Ellis, 31. Eddie Lee Ivory, number 40, are the running backs. The give is to Ellis, and Ellis running hard, picks up about 3 yards, getting it out close to the 9-yard line. And Gary Campbell, the linebacker, 59, made the hit on him there.
Well, I would suspect that the Packers are going to try and reestablish that running game that they had a couple of weeks ago behind this offensive line that you're looking at. They had 2 rushers for over 100 yards. They gained 246 yards rushing with Ellis and Ivory, and that's what they want to reestablish.
And they have the leading pass receiver in the NFC in terms of ground gained in James Lofton. He is the wide receiver with Andre Thompson. The tight end is Paul Kaufman. Big hole for Eddie Lee Ivory, blasting out to the 15-yard line, where Tom Hicks and Gary Campbell combine to pull him down, but they have a first down as the Pack comes out smartly from the shadow of its goal line.
And there you see Larry McCarron, number 54, as he makes the snap and blocks off to his left, and the entire flow was Tom Hicks, number 54, went with the flow of the running backs, and they cut back and got the first down. And Ivory, did you notice how he tucked that ball away? 2 hands on the ball. He didn't want to fumble.
724 yards rushing coming into the game, 7th in the National Conference in rushing. First down, Packers. In motion comes Thompson behind the ball. Gary Ellis, off right tackle, picks up 5. Tom Hicks, the man to meet him there out at the 21-yard line. And Jerry Muckenstern, number 58, the outside linebacker, in to help. It'll bring up 2nd and 5 to go for Green Bay, their first offensive series of the game.
You talk about the Bears having some tough luck on penalties and losing some football games. How about the Packers? They lost on the last play to Cleveland. They blew a couple of field goals against Tampa Bay. They could have had their record, could be 3 games better.
Both of these teams should have better records than they have. This is Eddie Lee Ivory. Ivory breaks a tackle and is finally wrestled down by Jim Osborne, who had to bulldog him to the turf. And it looks like he has another Green Bay first down, and he does.
Good running by Ivory, and Doug Plank missed a tackle. You don't see that too often for the Chicago Bears. Number 46, he hits people, they know he's been hit. But Ivory got away from it and got some extra yards before Osborne brought him down. Good hard running by the Packer offense.
For the Bears, Hampton and Hartenstein at the ends. Osborne and Page the tackles. There's the secondary. Schmidt, Fensick, Plank, and Ellis. The linebackers, Hicks, Muckensturm, and Campbell. Gary Ellis. Big hole, Ellis. A gain of 12 yards out to the 41-yard line. Fensick the man to pull him down. But he had a huge hole from Leotis Harris and Greg Cook, the right side of the Packer offensive line.
And he also got some help from his remaining running back, Eddie Lee Ivory, who threw a good block, too. So the Packers have disdained the air so far, and I would, too, if I was running like this, wouldn't you?
Boy, oh boy. 2 weeks ago, they had 100-yard performances from both Ivory and Ellis. Last week, they were shut down by Tampa Bay, but they are on the run again. Andre Thompson in the slot left. First down from the Packer 40. Ellis forced wide, and this time the Bears string him out and shut him down. It was Doug Plank who forced him out of bounds. Gain of maybe 2 on the play. It's 2nd and 8. No score here. We are in the first period at Soldier Field under very gray skies, a low ceiling, but temperature 56 degrees, December 7th in Chicago. Johnny, you have to admit, that's rare.
That's unbelievable. I don't need sunshine when it's 56. What'd you say it was, 56?
56. 2nd and 8. High formation. Eddie Lee Ivory straight ahead for a gain of 9, and the Packers taking it to the defensive front of the Bears. Muckensturm, the linebacker, number 58, pulled him down. It'll bring up 2nd and 1. Make it 3rd and 1, pardon me. 3rd and 1 for Green Bay.
Well, he wasn't waiting for anybody. He ran over a couple of his own linemen as he came through on that draw. And Ivory is really coming into his own. As you recall, remember he was hurt, a very severe injury here in Chicago on his opening game a year ago and had a bad knee injury. And, you know, he was out that year, and he's just really coming into his own.
Ron Rideout in to give the Bears a 5-man front on the 3rd and short. The give is to Ivory. Whistles all over the place. And we may have had a false start. No, delay of game against Green Bay. Didn't seem to be that long to me, but that's the signal.
So we have our first passing situation. Of course, Lynn Dickey has had a pretty good year. He's had some interceptions, a lot of interceptions, but he has set all kinds of Packer records for pass attempts, pass completions.
Chuck Eberling, the referee, marks off 5, and it changes the picture for the Pack. 3rd down and 6 now. The ball at the 44-yard line. Lynn Dickey yet to throw. The 10-year man from Kansas State. Slot formation right. Swing it out to Ivory. He slips there, and he's hit by Hicks. And then Dan Hampton is there to help out. Bears had it covered well. Even if he had made his cut cleanly, it looked like he was going to be shut down. And the loss on the play of about 6 yards will bring it back to the 39-yard line and 4th down.
And it was number 54, Tom Hicks, who did smell it out, that little quick screen out there. So Green Bay will be punting. Beverly, of course, punting.
Very little wind in the Windy City at the moment. From the west at just 8 miles an hour. Weather conditions are really superior today for both these teams, but the field is a little greasy from last night's rain. Lenny Walderscheid awaits the punt at the Bears' 20. Beverly hits it from Green Bay's 30. Walderscheid takes it at the 27. Dips his way over the 30-yard line to the 31, where the Bears will have their second possession. Paul Kaufman, the tight end, number 82, made the tackle, a 34-yard punt, and a 5-yard return. From Soldier Field in Chicago with 5:57, pardon me, remaining in the quarter, we are scoreless. Tim Ryan with Johnny Morris back here at Soldier Field. We have a scoreless football game. 5:57 remaining first period, and there's the game we're watching closely here. The Bucks leading the Vikings 10-0 in the second period. Now they're at halftime.
The Vikings are in some trouble there as you take a look at the Rams and Bills also.
At halftime in that game, and Vince Ferragamo, injured ribs in that game, is out of it. Pat Hayden is in at quarterback for the Rams. First down Bears here in Chicago. Walter Payton off tackle left. Bursts through a small hole, gets to the 35, and a pack of Packers pull him down, led by Ezra Johnson, number 90. Forward progress will result in a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
As you'll recall, Tim, the first game between Green Bay and Chicago, the key for the Packers win, of course, the blocked field goal with Marco running for the touchdown, but the key was stopping Walter Payton on in runs. Walter averaged only 2 yards per carry against Green Bay the first game out. As you look at Bart Starr.
And Zeke Bratkowski with his back to us, giving the word from the press box area to head coach Starr. 2nd and 6 Chicago. Starting in motion, the tight end Earl. The pitches to Payton out the left side. Payton forced out of bounds after a gain of 3 or 4 yards by Kurt Allerman, the former Cardinal, picked up as a free agent earlier with that injury list to the Packers linebackers. And these fill-ins have done awfully well for Green Bay. Allerman and O'Neill coming via the free agent route after the injuries to John Anderson, Mike Hunt, Rich Wingo. 3rd down and 2 yards to go for the Bears. Watts in, Scott out. It is 3rd and 2. They've got the double tight ends in with Bashnagel as the wide receiver lined up on the wing. And Roland Harper tripped as he took the ball and did not get there.
I don't know if he tripped or slipped, but he certainly didn't get off on the right foot, and no chance he made that first down, as the Bears will be forced to punt.
No gain on the play, and 4th down coming up with Parsons standing at the 24-yard line. Fred Nixon is the deep man on the punt return with Johnny Gray the up man. Nixon standing at the 20-yard line. Parsons, pretty good kick. Nixon takes it at his 28. Away from 2 tackles, and now knocked out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Second effort by Paul Tabor, who had the first swipe at him and then stayed on the play to knock him out. A 35-yard punt, a 3-yard return. And with 4:23 to go in the first period, still no score. The Green Bay Packers will start first down from their own 31-yard line, their second offensive possession of the day. The Bears across the front, Hampton, Osborne, Page, and Hartenstein.
And you may notice all the Bear linebackers are inside the defensive end, kind of a stacked defense.
In motion behind the ball, Andre Thompson, number 89. Dickey on play action. He's got Lofton open, but Lofton slipped, having to come back for the ball. The ball thrown a little behind him, and when Lofton tried to come back, you could see the water spray out from underneath his football shoes.
And actually, it was Alan Ellis who slipped first, the defensive back, trying to cover as Lofton came down the field and then turned inside. Ellis went down, and then Lofton trying to come back for the ball. He went down, and you saw the water a-flying. He got it on the rebound, on the bounce, but that's no good, is it?
No, I guess they've also found out something about the passing attack today. I would expect the Packers will go back to the run. 2nd and 10. Perhaps not on this down, but they do. Gary Ellis, he's got room out to the left. Cutting it back inside, he's hit by Muckensturm and wound up with a gain of about 4 yards on the play. Muckensturm, number 58. It looked like Ellis had a little more real estate had he gone wider. 3rd and 7. In come Walterscheid and Wentford Gaines, recently reactivated this past week with an injury to Brad Shearer, the reserve defensive tackle, a knee injury. He is out of the lineup, and Wentford Gaines, who had been on injured reserve with a wrist injury, is back in action, number 36, and he is in there as an extra defensive back. 3rd and 7, Green Bay. Straight drop by Dickey. Has the time, and it is incomplete. A good hit by Schmidt on Andre Thompson just as the ball arrived. Broke that play up, and Green Bay will punt. Philadelphia leading Atlanta 14-10.
Now here's the fake of the blitz. They dropped off. Andre Thompson came underneath on the little quick post, and it's a perfect play by Terry Schmidt because he hits him as the ball arrives. No interference, stripped the ball away. Good defensive play by Terry Schmidt of the Chicago Bears.
Well, that's a big game, Atlanta at Philadelphia, with the Eagles in front 14-10 in the second period, Johnny. Of course, the Eagles 11-2 already assured of a playoff spot. Beverly's punt, high punt. Walderscheid signals fair catch at the 23-yard line of Chicago. And so the Bears will try to get it moving on this series. We're down to 3:19 remaining in this first period at Chicago, and still no score. Super Sports Saturday next week on CBS. And meanwhile, here the Bears are trying to be super, but they have not been able to move the ball downfield against Green Bay as yet. First down from their own 21. Robin Earl in motion, and he is now the blocker for Payton, dancing his way out to the 30-yard line. A gain of about 8 for Walter Payton. Kurt Allerman and Mike Douglas, the linebackers, made the stop. Payton coming in with 1,122 yards, third in the NFC. They mark it a 7-yard gain. It'll bring up 2nd and 3. Cincinnati in front of Baltimore 24-3. Ken Anderson started that game awfully well, but left it with a knee injury, and Jack Thompson is now the Bengals quarterback. So 2 starting quarterbacks out of action. Ferragamo of the Rams and Anderson of Cincinnati going down injured. Slot formation right. Harper behind the left guard Noah Jackson, trying to get to that first down marker, and he will be close depending on where they spot it. Middle of that Packer defense getting into the action, and Allerman helping out Ezra Johnson, who made the first hit, number 90.
Did you realize that Walter Payton only needs 34 more yards today to move into 6th on the all-time rushing with over 8,000? He'll pass Larry Zonka.
Well, that is amazing. The mileage that he has racked up in such a short time in the National Football League. And it is just short. Looks like about 5 inches. Fisher and Bashnagel come in. Watts comes out along with James Scott, so the double tight end offense is in.
And if I was a coach, knowing how slippery it is out there and you got to back 3 or 4 yards back, I would probably take the option with Vince Evans and just fall forward big beans that it's that short, wouldn't you?
Well, I thought what you were going to suggest was throwing the ball here on 3rd down, but
well, they did that against Detroit last week, but I think they'll probably go for the first down and maybe just a quarterback sneak it so that no back will slip on the handoff.
That sounds good to me. Let's see what they do. Double tight ends are stacked in very tight, as is the Packer defense, and Evans takes it himself, and he has the first down. Going behind his center, Dan Neal, and the right guard, Reeve Sori. So Evans didn't have to run very far. He just squeezed through to get the Bears another first down. They'll spot it at the 34-yard line when they peel off the bodies. No score in this football game. The loser is out of the Central Division race. It has been an odd race. First place teams, Detroit and Minnesota, 7-6. We could easily have a 500 team in the playoffs from the Central Division, and yet 2 or 3 of these teams really are better than their records indicate. First down, Chicago. Robin Earl drops off from the tight end left and goes in motion. Evans, lots of time, deep for Watts. He has it, Ricky Watts, and slips forward to the 15-yard line as they took the hit from number 29, Mike McCoy, and Johnny Gray, the safety, coming over to help.
Good pass blocking for Vince Evans, and Watts went down the field on the out, then turned up the field, and Johnny Gray, the safety, just couldn't get over in time because the pass was thrown so well. Look at Noah Jackson, 65, looking for somebody to block. And there's Watts, and there comes Johnny Gray, number 24, over too late to help out Mike McCoy. First down, Chicago.
51-yard gain. Evans with the bomb to Ricky Watts. And, of course, the offense on the slippery field has the advantage. If you can keep your footing, the chances are the defenders, not knowing which way you're going to run, are working at a slight disadvantage. So the Bears, with a big play, now threaten. Payton. Behind Jackson. Inside the 10. Johnny Gray, number 24, finally got him. It'll be 2nd and 5. Well, they're giving him even more as they spot it. Now they're backing up close to the 10. Here it is again.
There's Noah Jackson, 65, leading Walter Payton. Coming around, there's Reevy Story was his block on Steve Luke. Jackson knocks Ed O'Neill down, and Payton gets through the hole. It looked like he wasn't going to get a yard out of it, and all of a sudden 2 crisp blocks, and they got some yards. Good running by the Chicago Bears.
The numbers on Walter Payton coming into the game, and he's got some more real estate added to that. It is 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line of Green Bay. Time winding down, first period. Roland Harper hit right at the line of scrimmage by Ed O'Neill. No gain on the play for Harper. Ed O'Neill, a former Lion and Patriot linebacker. 3rd down and 5. The crowd alive here as the quarter comes to a close. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Green Bay Packers nothing. The Chicago Bears nothing.
Yes. Today's game is sponsored by Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by Light Beer. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
The teams have changed ends, and the Packers send in 5 new defensive troops on 3rd and 5. The Bears at the 10-yard line. Vince Evans at the controls. He is 4 of 5 and 75 yards through the first period. Lots of time again. Can't find an open man. Slips and falls and rolls to the 5-yard line. He'll be close to the first down. He certainly would have had it running had he not slipped. But it looks like he may have it anyway. The Bears think so. And he does. 1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
That time the Packers had 5 men in the game as substitutions until the last second, and then all of a sudden they ran those 5 substitutes off and brought 5 on the field at the last second to confuse the Bears as to what way they were going to go with their defensive alignment. And then they couldn't get a pass rush going because 2 defensive linemen slipped coming in, and Evans took advantage of it and ran for it. Boy, that footing is really treacherous down towards the goal lines and towards the sidelines.
It will definitely be a factor in this football game. 1st and goal, Bears out of the eye. Flag down, delay will be called against the Chicago Bears on 1st and goal. Now, Johnny, speculation here. Was Evans
offense number 8.
Was Evans unhappy with the defensive look and trying to audibilize and ran out of time?
I think that was basically the case. He's got the clock right in front of him. He's right down near the goal line, and you can see that right in front of you as it counts down, and he just couldn't get it off in time, wasted too much time, and that happens. It could cost the touchdown. Have to settle for a field goal. Who knows? Changes a whole complex of the attack.
Scott and Watts go in. Bashnagel and tight end Robert Fisher come out. So they've got Scott and Watts wide left and right respectively. Evans a straight drop. He's got time. He's got Robin Earl close to the goal line. He is down at the 1. Robin Earl, number 81, the converted fullback from Washington.
Well, it certainly did change the attack. Now watch Evans, who is progressing every week here. He looks for a receiver. He starts the instinct to run. He spotted Robin Earl, and boom, the ball was right there. He spotted, he got a step there on Ed O'Neill and fired the ball. That was a great play by the quarterback and good blocking by the offensive line.
O'Neill and Steve Luke pulled him down at the 1-yard line. It is 2nd and goal. Evans now 5 of 6 and 84 yards for the Bears. On the doorstep, Walter Payton, and Payton looked like Fosbury doing the flop for the Bears touchdown.
He did it as only Walter Payton can do it. Up in the air. He probably gets more height than any man in professional football. And as you say, the Fosbury flop. If he couldn't have been a pro football player, let's try the high jump. He is fantastic. The line just shoots out. Walter says, okay, he's at the 2. He's at the 2. He doesn't come down until about a yard into the end zone. So that's a 3-yard leap, and then, of course, a lot of height to boot.
Bob Thomas will come in for the point after. Baschnagel holding. And it's good. So the first points on the board go to the home team Chicago Bears with 13:19 remaining here in the second period. The Bears converting that 51-yard bomb, Evans to Ricky Watts, and finishing it off with a 1-yard touchdown dive by Walter Payton. Chicago 7, Green Bay nothing. Yards in 9 plays, and look at that time of possession. That can be a big factor in a football game like this. Andre Thompson is the deep man at the goal line for Green Bay. Thomas. Kickoff comes down at the 5. Thompson. Hit at the 20-yard line by a swarm of Bears, and Green Bay will start from there. First man in was Bruce Herron, reserve linebacker number 51. Last week, Johnny, the Green Bay Packers only had the ball for 23 minutes of their game against Tampa Bay. That was a factor in that game, and now the Bears have been using it up on them in this first half.
You can't score if you haven't got the football, and I see that St. Louis has scored on Detroit. The Cardinals 7-0 over the Lions.
We'll keep you on top of that one. The latest score at halftime, Tampa Bay leading the Vikes 10-0. Eddie Lee Ivory slipped as he tried to make his cut, got back to the line of scrimmage.
I think you gotta, when you start seeing the condition of this field, and they're starting to feel the condition of the field, they gotta run more slant type plays off tackle rather than the end runs, because the running backs are not able to cut back against the grain because of the condition. But I would start throwing the ball, because the pass rushers aren't getting any traction. They can't get through to the passer, and you might as well take advantage of that.
2nd and 10, Green Bay, slot formation right. Andre Thompson in motion behind the ball. Dickey, sideline, Thompson, complete. Hit by Allen Ellis, the cornerback, number 48. Flag down. No, a player down is the signal. All right, and it is Andre Thompson, who took quite a pop from Ellis right at the sideline. No flag on the play. Dickey delivered the ball there perfectly to Andre Thompson. It winds up as an 8-yard gain, but Thompson is the injured player, and there's a timeout on the field. 12:17 remaining first half. Bears 7, Packers nothing.
Here's another Radio Shack Christmas gift idea. This year, thrill the kids with our amazing radio control toys. On the track, obstacle course, or off the road. You control all the action with a radio transmitter, drive a race car, or a 4-wheeler, command a tank. There's even a robot. Excitement for kids and grown-ups, too. 15 different toys priced $11.95 to $59.95. The amazing radio control toys from Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Back, and here's why.
Is that spearing? There's the helmet right into his back by Allen Ellis. A couple of Bears have been fined, Hartenstein and Doug Plank, as Thompson just had the wind knocked out of him, but his head was down. I don't know.
Hard to say. The official right on the play did not make a call. It is 3rd down. It turned into a 6-yard gain, 3rd and 4. Dickey for Lofton, and it's incomplete. James Lofton, as he was hit by Fensick, could not hold on. Green Bay will have to punt. Good pass by Dickey.
Yes, Lofton had the inside position on Terry Schmidt, but in came Fensick at the last second to jolt the ball away. You're going to see it's in his hand. Here comes Lofton right into your picture. He's got the inside position. There's the ball, but here comes the safety right there who knocked it loose, and it's going to force Green Bay to punt.
Dickey is now 2 for 5 and only 1 yard in passing, but he had a drop there. Beverly hitting from his own 17. Wallerscheid backing up for the good punt. Takes it at the 27 and has some running room over the 35 to the 37-yard line. Lenny Wallerscheid. Fred Nixon, number 84, the man there to make the stop, along with Brian Cabral, number 65. And we have a timeout on the field with the Bears in front. Coming up at halftime, we'll bring you up to date all around the National Football League. Following the punt by Beverly, the Bears will start. 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line, and they have a 7-0 lead here in the second period. Play action. Evans, who's had lots of time all day, has it again, complete to James Scott at the 46-yard line of Green Bay. Douglas and McCoy on the coverage.
That was a picture play. Perfect timing between Evans and James Scott. Scott went straight down the field, came back on a deep out, and Evans brought him right back to the sidelines, and nothing that McCoy and Douglas could do about it. And the key so far has been that the Green Bay defensive linemen aren't getting anywhere near Vince Evans. Partially because of good offensive line blocking, partially because of the treacherous turf.
Watts goes out wide right, Scott left. They shift to the eye. Walter Payton cutting it upfield. Flag is down as he gets close to the 40-yard line. Upset on the play by Jim Gano, number 51. Let's see what the infraction is. Meanwhile, St. Louis leading Detroit now 7-3. Eddie Murray has kicked a field goal for the Lions. Buffalo leading Los Angeles 7-0. An interception of a Pat Hayden pass by Steve Freeman for the Buffalo touchdown. Penalty against the Bears. Illegal motion, the preliminary signal. And here is Chuck Heberling.
Illegal motion, number 80, offense. First down.
That is Ricky Watts. So it is 1st and 15 with the ball close to the 50-yard line in Bear territory.
I would think that the Green Bay would have to come up with some blitzes or something, some little fancy stuff to try and put some pressure on Evans, wouldn't you?
Yes, I think they're going to have to, because he's just had all day back there. 1st and 15. They give it to Payton on the draw. Payton gets back to the 45-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. And he's hit there by Douglas, number 53. Linebacker. And number 90, Ezra Johnson.
Let's take a look at some of the blocking. There's Ted Albrecht, who has suffered a knee and ankle injury there, as he throws a good block on Ezra Johnson. And then Johnson says, hey, come with me. I'll tell you what, that's more of a dance than a block, but it did the job, didn't it? I guess Ted Albrecht is okay. And did you notice how quickly Walter Payton threw the ball down, stretched the ball out? That's a habit he's got to get out of.
2nd and 9. And a timeout called by the Chicago Bears. 2 seconds remaining on the delay clock, so Evans took the timeout as he was close to taking another delay of game penalty.
And this man has the future in the Chicago Bears in his hands. Vince Evans, who has progressed a lot each game as he has played, has made the Bears very competitive. We'll be back in just a moment.
I'll tell you, I was a born soccer player. Did everything with my feet. Took out the rubbish with my feet, made the bed with my feet, drove my mum crazy. But I finally found something I enjoy doing with my hands, drinking light beer from Miller. Light has a third less calories than the regular beer. It's less filling, but what really makes me happy is the taste. It's terrific. Now, my mum should be happy too. Look, Mum, no feet.
At Tampa Bay, Ted Brown has scored from a yard out from Minnesota, and they have closed the gap now to 10-7. The Buccaneers in front, 7:55 remaining, third period. Here in Chicago, the Bears lead the Packers 7-0. They have a 2nd and 9 at Green Bay's 45-yard line. Payton pulled from behind by number 77 Butler, but Payton got inside the 40 to the 38. They'll need about 4 yards now for the first down. 3rd and 4 from the Packer 40. Pickup of 4 by Walter Payton. Dave Williams comes in, Harper comes out.
I was about to start talking about Vince Evans a moment ago. Last week against Detroit, he called 12 audibles, 6 under regular situations and 6 in the 2-minute drill. He's calling more and more audibles.
It is a learning process and a good one for Evans. Up the middle for Williams, and he makes the catch in traffic. Good pass by Evans, but a fine play by Dave Williams out of the backfield. He had both Mike Jolly and Wiley Turner, the extra defensive backs, on double coverage, and he still got the first down catch.
A good play by Evans because they put the blitz on. You'll see number 24, Johnny Gray, comes in, the safety man. Evans spots it, throws it, and right on the money. It had to be there because he was double covered and double covered well, and Williams hung on to the ball, and just enough for a first down.
The ball now at the 34-yard line. The Bears keep a drive alive. They're on top, 7-0. 9:27 remaining in the first half. Here's the first pressure today, and they get him. The linebacker, Mike Douglas. Johnny, that's what you were saying they had to start doing. The last play, we saw the safety blitz on. This time they brought the linebacker from the outside, and finally, with their first pressure really of the entire afternoon, they got the sack.
Well, everybody was there that time. It turns out that the fake of the draw here, the fake of the handoff, slowed him down to get back into his position, and the Packers were there. There were a whole bunch of people to greet Vince Evans. Good play by Green Bay, and I think they're going to have to do more of that on a young quarterback, especially with the footing, as I have been repeating quite a bit.
It is 2nd and 20 now. Time winding down again. He's going to have to hurry. Just got the play off. Evans, and it's incomplete. Intended for James Scott. Evans either thought Scott was running a deep out, or he just unloaded the ball under pressure from Mike Butler. He was lucky.
Yes, he was, because there were only white jerseys around that ball. He thought Scott was going to go back to the corner, and there was a miscommunication. So we have a third down situation with long yardage. Let's see how Green Bay handles it.
Williams comes in. Harper comes out. Fisher comes out. They've got Scott and Watson, Bashnagel in, 3 wide receivers.
And the Packers have 6 defensive backs in there.
Everybody's thinking pass. 3rd and 20. Straight drop for Evans. Deep for James Scott. Complete. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line. A perfect strike from Evans to James Scott. And had it been a dry field, he probably could have stopped himself and taken it in for the score. But his momentum on that slippery turf took him out of bounds. A 36-yard play.
And Wiley Turner slipped way downfield, which helped the Bears on this situation. Pretty good pass blocking. Finally some pressure, but Evans held his ground and just waited for Scott to clear. And you're going to see number 20 just getting up from falling down, and he was supposed to help out on that. And Scott gets it down there close. It's at the almost the 8-yard line. First down, Chicago.
144 yards of passing for Vince Evans. He is 8 of 10 thus far. Payton. Inside the 5 to the 3-yard line, where Ed O'Neill, the linebacker, finally pulled him down from behind. James Scott out there in the blocking pattern for the Chicago Bears. Took out the linebacker Douglas on the play.
If Ed O'Neill hadn't come in from behind, that would have been a big play, because did you notice all the guards? Everybody was out in front. Good blocking. Payton has just passed Larry Zonka to move into 6th place in the NFL all-time rushing, and that's only in 6 years and 87 games. Would have took Zonka 11 years and 148 games to get.
2nd down, the ball at the 4-yard line of Green Bay. Harper in motion. Payton dancing through the middle. Touchdown. Walter Payton with a good block from the center kneel, and the right guard, Reedy Sorey. And the Bears have opened up a 13-point margin.
And Kurt Allerman was through there, but he tried to hit him low, and Payton just bounced right off the tackle by number 60, Kurt Allerman, and took it in for the touchdown. What a back. What a running back. You're going to see number 60 gauge the hole. He gets through, beats the block by Sorey, makes contact with Payton right there, and Payton just gives him the limp leg, kept his legs going, hung onto the ball, no fumble.
And it was Noah Jackson, number 65, crossing over on the block to open that hole on the right side. The point after is good by Thomas. 63 yards in 9 plays, and as we see the touchdown again, Walter Payton, 2nd of the afternoon, one from a yard out, one from 4 yards out. And the Bears have jumped into a 14-0 lead. And again, they used up some more time on that clock. We have 7:55 remaining in the first half of play. Green Bay has not had the ball for very long.
This will be a very important drive for Green Bay right here. If they can get down and get some points, they're going to be in this football game. As you look at those Chicago Bear fans, very happy after some frustrating games this season.
Last score we had from Tampa Bay, where the Bears and the Packers both need help. Tampa Bay leading it 10-7 in the third period. 3:45 used up on the clock by the Chicago Bears. They used up 5 minutes on their first drive for the first Bear touchdown.
And that last drive, the big play was they had a 3rd and 18, 3rd and 20, and they allow the deep pattern to become open, and that's what cost them 7 points. So you got to come up with those big plays on 3rd and long yardage. You got to stop them.
The Packers have reserve defensive back Mark Lee, a rookie, as the deep man. Thompson had been running him back. Remember, he got hit by Ellis. Lee from the 3-yard line. Up the middle, gets to the 25 before he is hit by John Skavinsky. And Lee Coombs, reserve linebacker. So the Packers with pretty good field position from their 25. Well, next week, the NFL on CBS will have the Giants and the Redskins on Saturday. That's the first of the Saturday telecasts, our national show. And then on Sunday, San Francisco at Atlanta, St. Louis at Philadelphia, New Orleans at the Jets, Tampa Bay at Detroit. Johnny and I will be there for that one. And, of course, another very important game in this oddball Central Division. Thompson moves to the slot right. Now in motion behind the ball. Andre Thompson, number 89. Dickey flares it out for Gary Ellis. Ellis. Osborne pulls him down as he got by Fensick, but Jim Osborne, number 68, ranging out from his tackle position, made the tackle, but not before the Pack picked up about 6, maybe 7 yards on the play. Let's see where they spot it. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Andre Thompson's back in there. I guess his back is okay. James Lofton is working with a sore foot, so they're a little bit banged up at the wide receiver spot.
Lofton, number 80, is out to the right. Thompson left. Ivory slicing through has the first down. Dan Hampton made the tackle. Good blocking out the right side of the Green Bay line, and a good block from his fellow running back Gary Ellis. Out at the 38-yard line now of the Packers. They had a very impressive running drive the first time they had the ball, although the Bears finally stopped it. The Packers had run very well. Now they've got to play catch-up. They're down 14-0. Slot formation left. Ivory in motion. Dickey has time, and it's incomplete, intended for Andre Thompson. The coverage on him by Terry Schmidt.
Let's take a look at a few more football scores.
Hopefully. There we go.
The Cardinals now 14-3 over Detroit. That's good for both the Packers and Bears, especially the winner of this game. The Redskins lead the Chargers 20-10. That game is in the third quarter.
Browns in front of the Jets 10-7 in the third quarter. Cleveland atop that AFC Central. Paul Kaufman comes over to make the strong side right on a cue from the quarterback Dickey. And all kinds of motion on a busted play, a loose ball, and an unhappy Lynn Dickey. Well, you knew something was wrong when he had to tell Kaufman to move from the left to the right. He gave him a hand signal, so there was some uncertainty on the play, and when you're down 14-0, you can't afford to make mental mistakes. 3rd and 11.
The Bears had 5 defensive linemen in the game for that play, too, and they hadn't seen that too much today, and so there were a lot of things going through Lynn Dickey's mind at that time, and now everybody's thinking pass.
Dickey is 3 of 7 for only 9 yards. Evans, meanwhile, 8 of 10, 144 yards, and we have 5:52 still to go in the first half. Dickey, and it is incomplete, nearly intercepted, intended for Lofton, and it was Allen Ellis who had the shot at the interception. Page and Osborne had the pressure on the quarterback.
That was the key. They had the pressure on the quarterback. 5 defensive linemen were rushing that time. You'll see 5 of them across the line there. There's 68 and 82, a little crisscross. 68, Osborne takes Leotis Harris right with him, and then Page gets through as McCarron can't get the block on him. And there was Osborne and Page forcing Dickey to throw sooner than he wanted.
And look at this. Snap, and Beverly having to go back to the 1-yard line, and he slipped. The Bears take it into the end zone for a touchdown. It was Dave Becker, reserve defensive back, a rookie from Iowa, and Beverly could not maintain his balance to cover the ball as it sat there at the 1-yard line. A tough break for the Packers there on a high snap.
And it wasn't only high, it was in the atmosphere. It was so high and far over his head. And then it's extra slippy down near the goal line. Of course, Beverly hasn't been in the game that much, and he wasn't able to have a feel for that soft turf, and it just went right, his feet went right out from under him, and this has really put the Packers in a bind as the Chicago Bears have the ball and the touchdown going for the extra point.
Well, the kick center is Ken Brown, second-year man from New Mexico, number 74.
And is recovered by Chicago, but they cannot score on the play. It's first down on the 1-yard line.
All right, one official had signaled touchdown when it was covered in the end zone. However, you cannot score in this circumstance.
They must have ruled that he recovered the ball actually before he hit the goal line. Had he recovered in the end zone, it would have been the touchdown, but he must have gained control outside of the end zone, and so they're putting it back at the 1-yard line. Had he gained control across the line, which I thought he did, then it would have been the touchdown.
So they'll have first and goal from the 1-yard line. Here's the play again. You see Beverly, he had time to cover it there, but he simply lost his footing as he tried to get to the ball. And in they went into the end zone with Dave Becker, number 49, coming up with it. So it is Bears ball, first and goal from the 1. And it is Roland Harper for the Chicago touchdown. And so they score it anyway and open an even wider margin. A tough break for the Packers there.
Let's watch the left side of the line as you're going to see Noah Jackson pulling out. Ted Albrecht blocks down, and 65 throws the key block for Roland Harper, and he just goes over the block, takes the leap into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago.
Bob Thomas will attempt the point after. We've got 5:30 remaining here in this first half. The Bears threatening to turn it into a rout. Oh! And they want a dry football out there. That was a 4-second drive by the Bears. Thomas hits it. And so the Chicago Bears have jumped into a commanding lead here in the first half of play at Soldier Field. Again, the last score from Tampa Bay, the Bucs leading 10-7 over Minnesota. The Chicago Bears now lead Green Bay 21-0 here under very cloudy skies in Chicago.
And this is a situation I'm sure Bart Starr doesn't want his team to be in, because especially against the Bears, when they get you down a couple of touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, they start throwing all kinds of blitzes at you, and it is tough, and things only get worse.
Bart Starr has gathered his entire team around him over on the far sideline. You see them there on the left of your screen, the entire team, and obviously trying to inspire them to some kind of a comeback effort here. The Bears have had the ball most of the first half. A big error on the snap of that punt situation, leading to yet another Bears touchdown. And a tough job for Bart Starr and his staff to rally the Packers now. The loser, remember, is definitely out of the playoff picture. They both need help from other teams in the NFC Central, but the loser today won't have to worry about help at all. Thomas will kick it off. The deep man is number 22, Mark Lee, rookie defensive back. Thompson has not returned a kickoff since he took that shot in the back from Allen Ellis. Johnny Gray is one of the up men with Harlan Huckabee.
Come on down on him, come on him.
Good kick by Thomas. Lee from the 2-yard line. Pretty good return for Mark Lee over the 25 to the 27, where Matt Suey, number 26 for the Bears, made the initial hit. So 5:21 to go as we look at some other scores around the NFL. Atlanta and the Eagles having quite a tug of war. 17-14 for the Falcons in the 3rd period. Rams and the Bills now tied up at 7 apiece. Ferragamo out of that, Hayden in for the Rams. Look at that one, Johnny.
Unbelievable. 31-6, the Bengals over the Colts. The Cincinnati's a funny team. They'll play 3 or 4 bad games and all of a sudden look like world beaters. And they're going to play Chicago next week.
First down, Green Bay. Slot formation left. Lofton is wide left. Thompson in the slot. Thompson in motion now. Play action. Deep for Lofton, complete. Allen Ellis on the coverage. First down, Green Bay at their 43-yard line. Lynn Dickey having quite a year passing, but not much luck today so far.
The Redskins now lead the Chargers 23-10. That game is in the 3rd quarter. That's another potential upset. The Redskins had only won 3 games going into that, playing the tough Chargers.
Dickey is now 4 of 9 for 25 yards. In motion goes Ivory. Gary Ellis straight ahead. Good second effort. He pulled Tom Hicks along that slippery turf for a pickup of close to 5. Buckensturm came in to help out as Hicks was losing the tug-of-war. They'll mark it as a gain of 4. Let's call it 2nd and 6 for the Packers. 4:18 and ticking here in the first half. It's getting very foggy now. Very low ceiling. Misty and foggy at Soldier Field. The lights are on. Eddie Lee Ivory. One of those angle slashes, and he works his way for the first down, and a flag is down. What a fine effort by Eddie Lee Ivory, and that's the kind of running play you were suggesting that Packers should be using, Johnny.
Yeah, more of the slant off tackle type of thing where the running back has a straight shot, as they're going to call a penalty on the Bears, tack on a few more yards. I think it might have been Jim Osborne, according to the way Jim is reacting to the play, but we'll find out.
Good hard running by Eddie Lee Ivory.
Unnecessary roughness, number 68 on the tackle. First down.
So Osborne is the culprit, and the Packers now are at the 31 of the Bears, and they've got 3:57 to get on the scoreboard, and they could cut this margin to 14 and make the second half a little more interesting. Thompson left, Lofton right, straight drop, up the middle, wide open is Andre Thompson. A flag is down. Thompson has first down yardage and is pulled back, but he has the first down yardage. Let's see what the call is. There's a flag downfield and one in the backfield near the quarterback. Odds are at least one's against the Bears.
And probably one against the Packers.
Well, if that's the case, they'll play it again, Sam. And the first down will be negated.
Well, so far, there's one against the Packers.
The flag is still down at the 20-yard line, and they're sorting that one out. Was that a holding signal against
yes,
Green Bay?
The offensive line must have been.
All right, we're going to get the official word from Chuck Heverly.
We have 2 penalties against the offense on this play. Both of them are 10-yard penalties. Holding, offense, decline, interference, pass interference, offense, accepted, first down.
I wonder how they decided which one to accept.
One sounds better than the other.
Well, you can't get the double dip there, so they've got 1st and 20 coming up. Both penalties against Green Bay.
That'd be an interesting rule to put in. I mean, they're getting away with 1 free penalty, right?
That's what it amounts to. From the 39, from the 41, pardon me, Chicago, it is Green Bay 1st and 20 now.
Here they come.
Dickey, good protection, downfield for Lofton, incomplete. Overthrown, intended for Lofton. He had the time. The Bears were giving it a good rush, but Dickey had the time, and pass was just overthrown by a yard or two.
The Bears put the safety blitz on that time. Lenny Walterscheid came buzzing through. The Packers picked it up, but there was still a lot of heat around there. And Dickey, I know, could feel it, and he was a little bit long on the throw. Of course, Lofton's not 100% either. He can't run full speed because of that sore bone in his foot.
Well, that's a good point on that play, too. The long bomb pass, it wasn't too far off the mark. Gaines comes in. They have an extra defender in. The Bears do on this 2nd and 20. So a tough break for the Packers, taking those 2 penalties when they were heading in deep to Chicago territory. Dickey, he's got Thompson open. A flag is down again as he's hit at the 25.
They may have gotten the Bears for defensive holding.
Fensick and Plank both in on that tackle. They're spotting it at the 25-yard line, where Andre Thompson got loose, and this one is against the Bears.
It might have been Terry Schmidt, number 44, because he had Ivory out of the backfield down there, and there was a little bit of a collision, which makes that an automatic first down, Tim.
Bears in front 21-0. 3:33 to go in this first half of play, and they'll march it off against Chicago.
Holding, defense, number 44. First down.
Good call, Johnny Morris. It was Terry Schmidt, number 44, and it is first down, Green Bay at the 36 of Chicago.
Now, Bart Starr had got to get the word, or Lynn Dickey's probably picked it up, that the Bears are faking a lot of blitzes. They're bringing their safety men now, and they're trying to do all kinds of things, and he could have 8 people coming at him now. Lynn Dickey, maybe not on this play, but it'll be the next play. It'll be close.
They got a 5-man line. Now they move a linebacker up to make it 6. Razzle dazzle. Dickey gets away from one rusher. Oh, what a good pass. Gary Ellis, first down to the 15-yard line. What a fine play by Lynn Dickey. The razzle-dazzle broke down. He very calmly found the open man, and running to his left on that slippery turf, delivered the ball perfectly.
I'm sure Bart and Zeke and those guys didn't draw it up this way, but it sure worked for him. The old flea flicker, the pitch out, Ellis just throws it right back to Dickey. He wanted to go to Laughlin downfield. As you can maybe we'll see, he was covered. So then Dickey makes a nice ad-lib, gets out of the pressure, spots Ellis, who was alert, went down the field. No linemen were downfield, so it was a legal play, and Ellis takes it down. First down for the Packers. Good play, Green Bay.
So it is first down for the Packers. Threatening here near the end of the first half. Touchdown, James Lofton. 2 defenders, and Dickey with a perfect strike. Plank was there, Schmidt was there, so was the ball, and Lofton has the Packers on the board. 2:35 remaining in the first half of play.
Oh, what a nice play and a nice pass that was, right between the 2 defenders, as you said, Tim, and Laughlin showed the concentration. A lot of times, if you have somebody coming at you from the inside, aiming for your head, it makes you look around. Here's Lofton. There's the pass, which was right on the money. Lofton takes it and takes the punishment, hangs onto the ball. Touchdown, Green Bay, and he earned it.
Well, the Packers earned it. They had a couple of setbacks along the way with a double penalty. Then they got help on the Bears penalty and took it in with 2 fine plays. Lynn Dickey to Ellis and Lynn Dickey to Lofton. The point after by Stenerud is good. With 2:35 remaining in the half, Green Bay Packers are back into this football game. Chicago 21 and Green Bay 7. So the Packers will be kicking it off, and the Bears specialty unit along the sideline getting their strategy together for the return. And of course they are awaiting scores from Tampa Bay, where Minnesota still at last report trailing 10-7 to the Buccaneers. Both these teams looking for help from Tampa today.
And St. Louis.
And St. Louis in the Detroit game. How are we doing in that St. Louis-Detroit game?
It was 14-3 at last count. Jim Hart had thrown 2 touchdown passes.
Right. Still the score with 8:12 remaining in the second period. So the Packers went 73 yards in 6 plays, using up 2:55 on the clock. In that game at Tampa Bay, 7:55 remaining in the 3rd period after that Minnesota score. Short kickoff taken by Ricky Watts, out of bounds at the 32-yard line. And the Bears start with pretty good field position here and 2:28 to go. So they've got ample time to widen their margin if they can get a drive going.
Vince Evans has excelled in the 2-minute drive the last game. Detroit, right before the half, led him to a field goal. And at the end of the game, he had 2 long drives, a beautiful drive, as Neil Armstrong says it. He puts it very simply. He says Vince Evans has come of age, and is only his 11th start and first against the Green Bay Packers.
First down, Bears. Roland Harper off tackle right, dives forward for a gain of close to 5. And it was number 56, Ed O'Neill, making the tackle on him. Timeout is called by the Green Bay Packers with 2:17 remaining here in the first half.
Well, that's confidence. Green Bay is counting on stopping the Chicago Bears and getting the ball back again and trying to get a touchdown or at least a field goal before the half. And I guess that's the only way you can play it. You got to have confidence in your defense. And you talk about Green Bay's defense, that's been a complete transition from last year. Gone to the 3-4. John Meyer and Bart Starr worked during the offseason to put it together and had a lot of injuries, as you said, at linebacker, and stuck with the 3-4 and done a pretty darn good job at it. This Packer team, I know a lot of people said around last August or September that it was left for dead already before the season even began and Bart Starr's job was gone. But I think they've done very well this year, and I don't think there's any question that Bart Starr, in my opinion, will be back next year.
Well, the Green Bay Packers in this game today, I guess one of the things that coaching staff of the Pack was talking about beforehand was, you know, never mind staying alive. He said that's one thing, the reason we think our team will be up for this one today. But he said you can't forget, and our players don't, the great Bears-Packer rivalry. This always is a big one. They love to play each other. It has a great history, and the players are very aware of it. Certainly the coach, Bart Starr, is.
He is the 8th coach, and only 2 coaches have coached the Packers longer than Bart Starr.
2nd and 5 for the Bears. Trying to open up the wider margin again. Payton running off tackle left, and looks like he has the first down. Jim Gainell here at Soldier Field in Chicago, a very slick field from heavy rains last night. If you've joined us along the way, unusually warm temperatures, 56 degrees at kickoff, December 7th in Chicago. Just short of the first down, as you can see.
Did you notice when Payton hit the turf that last time, he had his arm stretched out and let loose of the ball, I would say within a half a second of when he hit the ground.
Always trying to get the little extra, hoping that they're going to mark it where he marks it. He does his own marking.
Yeah. It works for him once in a while, but not too often.
So it is 3rd and very short. Double tight ends are in. In this situation earlier, Evans made the sneak for the yardage. Well, I'm not sure what that whistle was for, but timeout is called in any event. 2-minute warning. That's what it is, as they were just about to snap it. And we have the Bears 21, the Packers 7. Well, bad news for the Bears. Minnesota has gone in front of Tampa Bay. 10:21 remaining in the 4th period. 14-10, a 17-yard touchdown pass from Tommy Kramer to Sammy White. Remember, if the Vikings win down there at Tampa Bay, it's all over for the Bears, regardless of what they do here today. 3rd and short, and Evans diving has the first down for the Chicago Bears, whose destiny could be determined a long way from here, down in the sunny climes of Tampa Bay. First down with 1:49 remaining in the first half.
What makes you so sure it's sunny down in Tampa Bay?
Well, I'm just guessing. We'll try and find out. It's so gray here, I'm just hoping that it's sunny somewhere else. We can't complain about this weather, however. I brought my fleece-lined boots and long underwear for this game in Chicago, and didn't need them at all. It's still in the 50s. Slot formation right. Evans steps up in the pocket, and his pass for Williams is incomplete. Some pressure from the Packers there, and he rushed the pass. So bringing up second down. Johnson and Butler, the two defensive ends, getting some rush pressure on.
Philadelphia and Atlanta are now tied 17-17, a 40-yard field goal for Tony Franklin. And as we said, Minnesota has the lead over Tampa Bay now, 14-10, with 10 minutes to play in that game.
Washington in front of San Diego, 26-10 in the third period. 2nd and 10 here. Bears ball, slot left. That's blocked by number 77, Mike Butler, intended for Brian Baschnagel. And Butler got the big paw up on it. 6'5", 265-pounder from Kansas. Third down.
There's a look at Noah Jackson and Ted Albrecht. Noah Jackson's playing with a pinched nerve in his neck. He sometimes gets it hit and it goes into a... You ever had a pinched nerve?
No, I haven't, gratefully.
Boy, you're lucky you haven't, because it hurts like heck for about a minute and then it just goes away like nothing happened.
1:16 remaining in the first half. Third down play. Up the middle for Baschnagel, complete. Brian Baschnagel, first down to the 28-yard line of Green Bay. Johnny Gray and number 21, Mike Jolly, the rookie from Michigan, made the tackle, and they keep it on going.
There was pressure on Evans. He just let the ball go, took his punishment, and there came Baschnagel across the middle and gets the first down.
In the hurry-up offense, Evans with a quick drop, and it's to Payton, complete, out of bounds at the 21-yard line. They're going to mark it inside the 20 at the 19 with 46 seconds on the clock, and it stopped with Payton going out of bounds. So the Bears threatening again, and they lead 21-7.
You talk about an important drive. This one could put the Packers away. It would be a 28-7 game. It'd be a big difference if Green Bay stops them here and makes it 21-7. Comes out in the second half, it's a ball game. But when you're down 28-7, you could be in big problems.
Well, a Lofton touchdown cut that margin to 14.
Blitz.
Danger of having a bigger one. And it's complete to Baschnagel. Inside the 5. He's hit by Jolly, number 21. Another first down, and Evans has really thrown the ball well today. Timeout is called by the Bears. 35 seconds remaining in the half. What a performance in this first half by this young man. Let's get the numbers on him.
His instincts are so good, Tim. This time they put a blitz right up the middle on him. You're going to see him. Here they come. Here comes Johnny Gray, 24, and they're coming right at him. The Bears stick him. Evans looking left, and then spots the Baschnagel and fires the ball. Good instinct, and Baschnagel brought it in. And the Bears have a first down. Good sliding catch into second base, and he wanted to get up and go for the TD.
Evans is now 11 for 15, Johnny, 195 yards, and we have not yet completed the first half.
Here's a young man who, when he was drafted, said that there was a lot of rumors that people would like to play him as a wide receiver because he was so fast, or a running back. He says, I'm not going to sign with the Bears unless I get a guarantee that I'm going to be a quarterback. And the Bears said, okay, and I think both parties are happy that he was insistent on that now.
4-year man from Southern California. You suppose he's still high from yesterday's victory over Notre Dame?
Well, I would say so, wouldn't you?
He enjoyed it. He enjoyed it. I know all those USC guys got a kick out of that one. Boy, they are tough at home out there against the Fighting Irish. It is first and goal here.
That must have really hurt you, huh?
It certainly hurts me,
Notre Damer.
Yes. I didn't like it much. Slot formation right. Baschnagel in the slot. They've got 3 wide receivers in. Evans lost the time. He's got Baschnagel for the touchdown. Wide open over there against Estes Hood on the coverage. And the Bears have turned this into a rout. 27-7 with 29 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
Well, Evans had all the time he wanted. He started to come out of the pocket. Watch the top of your screen here. Evans was such a threat to run here. They did the crisscross, and Bashnagel's waving his hands. Now he goes to his knees, makes sure the grab, catch it in the stomach. Easy touchdown, Chicago. And it's ironic, the Packers called a couple of timeouts, didn't they, during that drive?
Yep. Here's Thomas for the point after. And he nails it. 67 yards in 9 plays, and another 2 minutes and 6 seconds used up on the clock, and unofficially 8, 10, 12, about 13 and a half minutes of playing time in those Chicago drives. They have had the ball most of the way, and the Packers, when they have had drives, they have had the ball most of the way, and the Packers, when they have had it, just not been able to do a great deal with it, although Dickey to Lofton brought them back the 15-yard touchdown on 2 fine plays by Dickey to Ellis, and then Dickey to Lofton for the score that closed the margin at that point to 21-7. But the Bears came right back the other way to open it up once more.
And did you notice when Evans did spot Bashnagel, how long was it before that ball was there? About 1 second.
Oh,
he just
really
stopped
deliver
and zinged it right there.
Yes, he can. He can really unload the ball in a hurry. In fact, they have quite a contrasting delivery. Dickey is a little more of a windup on his passing, and it's effective for him, but he doesn't deliver it as quickly as Evans does. And all of the Bears receivers getting in on the action here in this first half, too. Evans has given everybody a shot at catching the ball. The backs, all of the wide receivers. Got one to Robin Earl, the tight end. And I guess a lot of Bears fans have to be saying, where was this earlier in the season? We wouldn't be 5-8 now if the Bears had played this way earlier in the campaign. Thomas. Kickoff taken by Mark Lee from his 5-yard line. Straight ahead to the 25. Aaron, number 51, is there. Otis Wilson, reserve linebacker, number 55, the first man in on the hit. So Green Bay has 24 seconds to try and make something happen here in this first half.
You're the coach, down 28-7. You got 24 seconds. Would you throw one of those alley-oop passes, or would you just run out the clock?
No, you got to make something happen.
That's right. You got to try for it. Go down trying.
Well, I think they will, too. Thompson goes out to the left. Andre Thompson. Lofton in the slot left. Dickey off for Ellis. Picked up the low pass and running well. Gary Ellis. Running through people to the 45-yard line of Chicago. 13 seconds remaining, and timeout is called by the Packers. I believe they have one more. Is that their second timeout? So they have one more timeout remaining. They took one during the Chicago drive. And they have 13 seconds left.
If they could get one more completion, they would be in field goal territory, obviously, as Bart Starr trying to figure out what to do. Since he does have the one timeout, you might as well try and go for the pass that's going to catch somebody in stride, crossing or something like that, because you do have the one timeout that if he gets tackled in the field of play, you'll be able to stop the clock.
Walter Scheid and Wedford Gaines come into the defensive backfield of the Bears, along with another pass rusher, Al Harris, the second-year man from Arizona State.
He hasn't touched Paul Kaufman yet, has he?
No, and they made a big play last week against Tampa Bay, albeit in the losing cause. Well, look at this one now. St. Louis 14, Detroit 13. Billy Sims has scored for the Lions. Ed Murray's field goal closed it to within a point. Slot formation right. Uh-oh. No flags down. Looked like the Bears were over there a little early, and it's intended for Andre Thompson, incomplete. Very close along the line of scrimmage, Johnny. I thought the Bears might have been offside on that play. Officials didn't think so, and that's all that matters. Second down. 7 seconds on the clock.
It was one of those bang-bang plays when you refer to the offsides. Actually, Dickey did a good job of coming forward in the pocket. He's got all these wide receivers in there now. He's going to find somebody open somewhere because they're flying all over the place downfield.
Buckenstern comes in. Al Harris goes out. Second down from the 45 of Chicago. They've got Andre Thompson out to the right. Ron Cassidy is in. And James Lofton is in the slot right. 3 wide receivers. Dickey for Thompson, incomplete. And it's going to be interference against Terry Schmidt, number 44. And Fensick, rushing over to the official, says, hey, he didn't touch him till after the ball arrived. Meanwhile, a flag is down in the backfield in the area where Dickey delivered the ball from. 2 seconds on the clock. You know that interference call will stand despite Fensick's protests. And we'll see what the other flag is about. Discussion with the officials by referee Chuck Heberlin.
The other flag was thrown back in the vicinity where the offensive linemen were blocking for Dickey, so we'll have to see what that call is.
Here's the man with the message. Interference call against the Bears and roughing the passer call against the Bears.
Boy, it's a good thing they don't stack those 2 penalties on top of one another. There's the call on Terry Schmidt.
So it'll be first down at the 30-yard line. Or will it?
What's going on
They're
here?
going to mark it from the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
And let's see how that comes out. I think it's going to come out right at the 30-yard line. That was a 15-yard gain and a 15-yard penalty.
Pass interference defense refused. Roughing the passer. Number 68 accepted. First down.
So it's first down for Green Bay at the 30-yard line of Chicago. 2 seconds on the clock.
You don't think the Packers would try anything funny, do you?
Well, they're going to make it look like they're attempting the field goal. David Beverly can pass it. It's spotted at the 38. Stenerud will try it. Blocked by the Bears. Picked off by Fensick. Knocked out of bounds by Jim Gano at the 42, but a flag is down, or is that dropped inadvertently? There is a flag out there, and the official's picking it up and waving frantically over this way to say, hey, guys, it just fell out of my pocket. There is no infraction on the play, but the Bears blocked the field goal. Now, Alan Page is saying, didn't I see something yellow come out down there?
There is no flag on the field. There is no flag on the field.
All right, so the half comes to a close. And the Chicago Bears at halftime lead the Green Bay Packers 28-7. And we'll be joining Brent Musburger when we return here in just a moment. Have Mark Lee, number 22, standing at the 5-yard line awaiting the Bears kickoff. 28-7. Quite a first half of play for young quarterback Vince Evans. Walter Payton has scored 2 short touchdown runs. Roland Harper had one from a yard out, and Evans passed 4 yards to Brian Baschnagel. And there we go with the kickoff, and rain starting to fall as it's fumbled into the end zone by Lee, and he'll have to come out of there. He does not. Where was he when he touched the ball?
Well, he didn't gain possession, though. See, the ball went in.
Oh,
that's
all
all
right.
He does not have to run it out.
Right you are. Thank you, Johnny. He dropped that ball right at the goal line and then opted wisely, as it turns out, not to bring it up. So they will have first down from the 20-yard line, and the Packers have really got to get something moving here. There's a final score.
The Cleveland Browns over the New York Jets, 17-14. So Cleveland is now 10-4.
First down, Green Bay. Gary Ellis trying off tackle left, and there's a lot of traffic there. His own blockers and stacked up by Bear defenders. Gained maybe a yard, 2 on the play. Call it a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8.
And we have another game that has gone to overtime. The Rams and the Buffalo Bills, 7-7. That's a good one. Of course, Chuck Knox playing against his old Ram team, now coach of the Buffalo Bills, and what a year that they're having. The Bills are 9-4 going into that game.
So are the Rams, and of course they're trying to keep pace with Atlanta. Atlanta in first place at 10-3 and having quite a war with the Philadelphia Eagles today. Kaufman in motion. They swing it out to Gary Ellis. He's got blockers. Running hard is pulled down at the 28-yard line by Jerry Muckensturm, number 58. It'll be 3rd down and 2 for Green Bay. And they send in a couple of substitutes. Number 67, Carl Swanke, comes out. They will make him as a 3rd tight end in this circumstance.
Come on, let's shut it down.
3rd and short. Packers want the 1st down here. Now they line up Bill Larson, reserve tight end, and he goes in motion. Eddie Lee Ivory hit behind the line by number 76, Ron Rideout. And so the Bears rise up and stop the 3rd and short play, and the Packers will have to punt.
Rideout is very good on that short yardage situation. A big hook of a man who is tough and strong, and the Packers deserve what they got there. They ran a slant off tackle play with a 1 yard to go, and that's people can sneak through the gaps.
So Beverly is lined up to punt. Big man Wallerscheid awaiting it at the 31-yard line is hit immediately. Good coverage downfield by Fred Nixon, number 84, the rookie wide receiver from Oklahoma. Did his job, and the Packers will start. The Bears will start, pardon me, 1st down at their own 31-yard line when we return.
Lincoln Mercury introduces Lynx. Lynx gives you more than exceptional fuel efficiency. Lynx gives you a special inner world that's a pleasure to be in. Starting today, the world...
Playoff picture, the Vikings winning in Tampa Bay did that, and what a comeback. 21 points scored by the Vikings after trailing 10-0. Meanwhile, Detroit at St. Louis. The Cardinals lead at 14-13 at halftime.
Come on.
This is Walter Payton. Payton's got running room and a 1st down in over the 40-yard line, out of bounds at the 41. Mike Douglas, a man to push him out.
And watch the block by number 64, Ted Albrecht here. He's blocking on Ezra Johnson here at the left tackle. I mean, does a heck of a job. He stays with him. He has to stay with him, and down goes Johnson. That allows Payton to get by, and he gets down there for the 1st down for Chicago. We're going to get another look at it. Number 64 blocking on 90. Good block by Fisher there, too. But here's the key block. And then he falls down in front of him, makes Johnson try and go over him to make the tackle. Good play, Ted Albrecht.
1st down, Bears from their own 41. They lead it 28-7. We are just underway in the 2nd half. 164. Evans sideline to Ricky Watts, and it is complete. Low throw taken in by Watts at midfield, and another Bears 1st down, or very close to it. Let's see where they spot it. It's going to be just short. It'll be 2nd and less than a yard for the Bears at midfield. Second and about a yard for the Bears as we look at Vince Evans. What an afternoon he's having. Look at those numbers. Roland Harper dashing straight ahead behind Sorey and Lick on the right side as the 1st down for the Bears.
Roland Harper, going into this game, had carried 187 straight times without a fumble. And that's what you look for in a football player, especially a heavy-duty running back like Harper. Ball control, no turnovers.
We're now at the 47-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. Packers, remember, still mathematically alive despite the win by Minnesota. But, of course, the Packers must win here today, and they are up against it now. back. Good tackle from behind by Kurt Allerman, number 60. But Payton still picked up 6 yards on the play. The win by Minnesota today moves them to 8-6. And they are awaiting the outcome of the game between the Lions and St. Louis, as those teams, Minnesota and Detroit, went in tied for first place in the Central Division.
Let's listen to the snap signal.
319. 319.
Harper, big hole, and Harper dashes over the 35 for another Bear first down. Mike Douglas and Ed O'Neill, the linebackers, made the tackle for Green Bay.
And when you hear the 319, the 3 is the snap signal, but the defensive team doesn't know what snap signal was called in the huddle. If he had repeated the same number that he called in the huddle, then that means checkoff will call a new play at the line of scrimmage. Apparently that time they did not.
First down, Bears. Will now on the Green Bay front. Allerman again making the tackle, but 8 yards deep. 2nd and 2.
Well, I think Noah Jackson's excited, number 65, as we look at Walter Payton, but Noah's really popping and hopping down there, leading the way for Walter Payton, number 65, Noah Jackson.
Harper comes back in. Watts brings the play in. Bashnagel comes out. 2nd and 2 at the Green Bay 27-yard line. Harper trying to cut it back inside. He'll be close to the first down, but I believe he'll be a little bit short.
Oh, there was some real fancy stuff going on between Dennis Slick and number 77, Mike Butler. You should have seen that.
They're going to have to measure
toe-to-toe all the way down the line of scrimmage.
That's a pretty good matchup. Butler and Lick. And it's going to be short by about a half a yard. Meanwhile, this score is in. Detroit has gone in front of St. Louis, 16-14. 26-yard field goal by Eddie Murray. 9:09 remaining third period. The Lions now trying to keep pace with the Vikings, who have won their game at Tampa Bay, and if the Lions can win it, they'll both be 8-6 atop the Central.
Well, I would say the main thing for the Chicago Bears now is to win these football games and trying to end the season up on a high note. Hope for more development from Vince Evans and try and get ready for the next season.
3rd and short. Play action. And it is Harper inside the 10. What a nice play. On 3rd and short, first down and goal to go at the 9. O'Neill forced him out of bounds.
And that's what I'd call some development by Vince Evans. This time he showed the touch. As you see both backs go to the left. Harper leads out. Payton goes in the flat, and Evans just puts it up and over. No steam on this one. He just laid it up and over. And Ed O'Neill finally made the tackle as Harper brought the ball in. First down, Chicago.
Fisher and Bashnagel come out. Watts and James Scott are the wide receivers. Robin Earl, the tight end. They're going to throw on 1st and goal. Evans, he's got a man open. Touchdown, Robin Earl. Isolated on the linebacker, O'Neill. And another fine pass from Vince Evans.
Actually, not a fine pass, Tim. That was an unbelievable play. Evans was looking all over the field, looking for a receiver. His feet were going up, little dancy-do like Fran Tarkenton has. And watch, all of a sudden, he spots Earl at the last second and then whisks it with just flicks his arm. He waits, boom. And he was even off balance, and that ball came in there like a bullet right into the stomach to Robin Earl. What a play by Vince Evans.
9-yard touchdown pass. He's 15 of 19, 233 yards on the day. Thomas's point after is blocked. And it looked, I believe it was Mike Lewis. Yes, it was, number 66. Mike Lewis getting in there, so a good effort by the Packers, who are down badly now but still showing that effort on the point after. The Bears 34, the Packers 7.
This Christmas card was sent to you by the people at Miller High Life. Merry Christmas.
They go forward. They go backward. They go back and forth in a hammering action. They go through wood, steel, concrete, granite. No matter what it is, a Black & Decker drill can put a hole in it. In fact, anything a drill can do, Black & Decker makes a drill that can do it. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Well, they got their spelling and grammar corrected, but the mathematics turned against them, I'm afraid, with a victory by Minnesota today. It's all over for the Bears for the playoff picture. Meanwhile, look at this. Buffalo beat the Rams on a field goal, 10-7. Look at that score. Redskins 40, the Chargers 17.
I think Jack Pardee got his troops all charged up.
All right, Lee from the 6-yard line gets out to the 26 and is hit there by Willie McClendon, reserve running back. So the Rams losing to Buffalo 10-7. They fall to 9-5. And it is now final Atlanta with 7 seconds left in the game. A 37-yard field goal by Tim Mazzetti beat the Eagles 20-17, and that is final. So Atlanta is now 11-3. The Rams in second place, 9-5 in the NFC West. First down, Green Bay. In motion, Andre Thompson. Dickey for Lofton, wide open. And Lofton has a first down in midfield. Doug Plank made the tackle. 34-7, the Bears in front. Evans to Earl from 9 yards out, 69 yards in 9 plays, and again using up 4:15 on the clock. The Bears did on their scoring drive.
These teams have been playing since 1921. And so far, it's 65 wins for the Bears, 51 for the Packers, and 6 ties.
First down in midfield for Green Bay. Everybody out of the pattern. Dickey for it. Andre Thompson incomplete. Tight coverage on him by Terry Schmidt. Second and 10. Lynn Dickey. What a comeback this young man has made after the surgery on broken legs, missed full season, came back to show that he is NFL caliber quarterback, and certainly has done quite a job for Green Bay all season long. He's now 9 of 16, 122 yards and 1 touchdown. Second and 10. He was nearly sacked by Bruce Herron, who put the pop on him, and he just got the ball away to make it an incompletion.
A very good blitz by the Bears. They brought Walterscheid up the middle to tie up the back, and then you can see Herron comes from the outside, the lower part of your screen, as Walterscheid ties up 2 backs. That allows Herron, number 51, to get through slick and clean, and Dickey's arm was going forward, but just barely, as it will go as an incomplete pass.
Third down. Lights are on here at Soldier Field, have been since early in the second period, and gray skies with a little bit of rain falling. Still very mild.
Look at the Bears.
They've got, well, they had 8 men on the front line there momentarily. Dickey sideline for Lofton, and it's complete to James Lofton. Nice catch, sliding out of bounds, coverage by Muckenstern. First down for Green Bay to the Bears 38.
Everybody dropped off. They went with a straight 4-man rush, and Dickey held his ground and hit Lofton, who made sure of the grab, and he is only 2 other receivers in Packer history have gained more yardage in a season than James Lofton. I think that was Billy Houghton and oh, who's the other one? The great receiver of the old Packers.
Hudson?
Yes, Don Hudson.
Don Hudson. Okay. Throw a little Packer trivia at me in the middle of this game. Andre Thompson in motion. Gary Ellis. Osborne has him right at the line of scrimmage. Flag is down. 2 flags are down. And they occurred away from the play.
Andre Thompson and Terry Schmidt got into a little scuffle, and they called one of them.
Chuck Eberling knocking things over with the Bears. There's been one signal against Green Bay. So the Packers, who were on the move, are going to be set back with a penalty. A big one. 15 yards back to their own 46.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 89, first down.
Andre Thompson, and as Johnny described it to you, a little play involving Terry Schmidt. It was away from the running play of Gary Ellis, so you have to put that in the category of unnecessary. And I think it sprang from the play before that when Schmidt had the tight coverage on Thompson on the preceding pass play. 1st and 25 for Green Bay. Eddie Lee Ivory, he has blockers. And it's closed quickly by Hampton, who ranged out from left defensive end. It looked like Ivory had a lot more room to go. Now Nixon and Fensick have some words downfield as tempers are starting to fray here in this old and bitter rivalry between the Packers and the Bears.
And
Gary Fensick. 6:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and about 20. 6 defensive backs in for the Chicago Bears. Nixon in motion. Dickey up the middle for Lofton, incomplete. A flag is down on the far side of the field. Lofton turned it inside, and evidently something's being called against the Chicago Bears. The pass was off mark. Lofton had no chance to catch it.
I think he's going to call it on Allen Ellis. Some contact between Lofton and Ellis down the field. We have a lot of interference calls in this football game.
Well, the greasy turf's got a little bit to do with it, but I'd like to see that one again. If it occurred prior to him making the cut, that's a possibility, but I don't believe he made contact after Lofton came into the middle of the field.
Defense, number 48, first down.
Holding. Let's see if we can see it.
You'll have to look to the right of your screen here. I don't know if we're going to get a look at it because that's already happened afterwards. The contact was earlier in the play.
Yeah, it had to be. It must have been before Lofton turned it inside. So it is first down for the Green Bay Packers on the penalty against the Bears. Ball at the 43-yard line of Chicago. Red Nixon in motion. Dickey clears it out. He's got Ellis in full gear. And Gary Ellis stopped by Fensick at the 25-yard line. Boy, when he gets that ball in full stride, he's awesome. Gary Ellis, 216-pounder, but it's packed down to a 5'11" frame. He's stocky.
He certainly is. He looks like he weighs about 250. I'd hate to have to tackle him.
First down for the Packers inside the 25. Looks like Vince borrowed Walter's jacket there.
And he lost his helmet. Walter always keeps his helmet on when he's on the bench. Vince says, I want to get some of that fresh air.
Red Nixon in motion again. Play action. Dickey has time, and it is intercepted by Fensick. Perfectly timed, intended for the rookie wide receiver Nixon. Fensick saw it coming, stepped in and picked it off, and the Packers are stopped again. Well, in a game we'll be going to, at least most of you will be seeing, Oakland in front of Dallas 7-0 in the first period.
Gary Fensick with only the 3rd interception by a defensive back for Chicago, as Dickey made his decision late, but he didn't spot Fensick down. He comes underneath, makes the play, Chicago's ball.
Before you spend 1 nickel for an American car, see the Tough Americans from American Motors. This American Motors Concorde not only beats Chevy Citation's gas mileage, Concorde's the only American car with galvanized steel in 100% of the exterior body panels, and a full 5-year no-rust-through warranty. At a list price at least $600 less than Citation, you can't afford to sell this Tough American short. Concorde, built to last from American Motors.
STP, a big name in racing for nearly 20 years. STP oil treatment on the track in some of the world's most expensive engines. Around the track, around the world, every day, tens of thousands of people get STP oil treatment. Get it for your car. Satisfaction guaranteed. Around the track, around the world, STP oil treatment is #1.
Next week, a Super Sports Saturday, the Giants battle the Redskins, followed by the Mixed Team Golf Classic and the Sports Spectacular with figure skating and the Great American Truck Race next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Super Sports Saturday next week on CBS. Looks like a great afternoon of sports entertainment. So the Bears, following the Fensick interception, start 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. Chris Haynes is in at wide receiver. Dan Jiggets is in at tackle number 62. Walter Payton cuts it back inside beautifully and picks up about 5 yards. He was turned in by Allerman and by the right defensive end, Ezra Johnson. But he got 5 on the play. 2nd down. Fisher and Watts come in. Harper comes out. Baschnagel comes out. Fisher comes in at tight end.
Dan Jiggets is in there at tackle. He came across. They pulled the tackle that last time. We'll have to watch old Dan, see how he does. He's in there filling in for Ted Albrecht, who has that tender ankle.
2nd and a long 5 for the Bears. Walter Payton. He's met by Allerman and by Mike Butler. And they held him to a gain of about 2 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 4. They spotted at the 26.
Now the Packers, they play who? Houston next week? I think they play Houston, so that's not going to be any easy game for Green Bay.
Houston is visiting. The Pack will be in Detroit, or Tampa Bay at Detroit. Another big one for the Lions. They are keeping pace with Minnesota's resurgence. Walter Payton, he's got some running room, and he slipped down on the shoestring tackle, which it looked like he had eluded, but then slipped as he tried to get away from it, but he got the 1st down yardage. Steve Luke made the tackle, and he hurt himself on the play.
And there's Dan Jiggets, who's now playing left tackle. We're going to see an isolated on that play and see how Dan Jiggets does. As you know how Walter Payton did. Some great running as Jiggets is blocking on Ezra Johnson, number 90. Maintains the contact, sticks with him, and then pushes Ezra Johnson to the inside, and Payton dips to the outside. And I would say Dan Jiggets did a good job, wouldn't you?
Yes, he did. The 5th-year man from Harvard.
Oh,
Steve Luke being helped off as we see there's a little conversation after the play.
Control 6 to base. Looks like this big old hole in the ground is going to be safe for the night. Over.
They come out all beat. It's Miller time. Miller time. Time to appreciate the difference between a good beer
when it's time to relax
and a great beer.
Lions are going to keep pace with the Vikings. They'll both move to 8 and 6. 3:37 remaining in that game. The Lions in front 23-14. They'll be up there next week when the Lions host Tampa Bay and another crucial in this NFC Central. Bears have a 1st down. Evans wants to throw. He's got James Scott, and Scott close to another 1st down. Allerman on the tackle. The ball came loose, and there's quite a pile up there. Did it come loose before the whistle or after? They're still blowing whistles down there, trying to keep everybody out of there.
One official is pointing that it's the Packers' ball. Another official says, no, wait a minute.
Guess who came up with the ball finally? Walter Payton. But it was James Scott who caught the pass, and he is down and hurting a little, getting some attention. It is still Bears' ball. That's the bottom line. And he is short of the first down by about a yard.
This ball actually was almost intercepted. You see Mike McCoy with the hit. He gets hit from both sides. There was Ollerman and McCoy hit him, and the ball got a little bit loose as James Scott is taken off the field, and I hope he's going to be okay. He's just now really getting in the groove here for Chicago.
Strange happenings in the NFL today. A 27-point fourth quarter for Baltimore has pulled them ahead of the Bengals 33-31. Incredible. They were down 31-6. Evans on second and 2 yards, intended for Watts. Touchdown, Ricky Watts. Perfectly thrown strike. Watts in full stride. And Vince Evans is just having an unbelievable afternoon. Young Ricky Watts just ran right under it.
He was going stride for stride with Mike McCoy. Turned it on. The ball was out there. Put that ball out there. And guys like Scott and Ricky Watts will run under it. What an arm, though, for Vince Evans. Let's watch the Packer rush. That's always got to be a key. A three-man rush. They don't even get close to him. Watts straight up the field. He gets a step. And that's all he needed. The ball was right there. Ricky Watts out of Tulsa.
53-yard touchdown pass. Evans to Ricky Watts. Thomas with a point after. The third touchdown pass of the day for Evans. 295 yards on the day. 17 for 21. That's darn near perfect. 41-7. The Bears in front.
It's starting to get a little embarrassing for the Green Bay Packers. Let's hope they score a couple of touchdowns and make some kind of a game out of this. It'll be pretty soon the Bears are going to have to make a choice to go to another quarterback, and I'll be interested to see if Neil Armstrong brings in Mike Phipps or whether he brings in Bob Avellini or whether he stays. If he stays with Vince Evans, that's kind of really pouring it on.
81 yards in 5 plays, another 2:42 used up on the clock. We still have 2:43 remaining in the third period. Dallas and Oakland, the game many of you will be watching at the conclusion of our telecast. They're now tied at 7-7 with 3:07 remaining in the first quarter. Jim Plunkett passed to Raymond Chester for the Oakland score. Tony Dorsett ran 20 yards for Dallas. And there are the numbers on the Chicago scoring drive. Neil Armstrong got to feel good about the game, bad about the rain, and wondering what lies ahead. He's got to feel very good about Vince Evans. They knew he was the quarterback of the future. They really didn't want him to be the starter this year. They didn't feel that he was really ready. Mike Phipps coming off a good year. Look at Lee's got running room. There are flags all over the place as Lee brought it out to the 34-yard line. When I say they didn't want him to be, they didn't expect that he could deliver as a starter this year. Still in the growth process, but I guess when you look back now, as the Bears got behind in the standings, Johnny, and Evans got the job, this has been a terrific developmental season for him, and he's got to start next year with huge mounds of confidence.
I know there's going to be a lot of confidence towards next year, but each year is a new year, so you can't count on that. But I think what you can't count on is a quarterback who can do a lot of things for you, and a lot of teams don't have that. They have quarterbacks who can throw, or a quarterback who can run, a quarterback who's smart, but maybe doesn't have the legs.
Number 51.
There are so many quarterbacks in the NFL that have different things. Evans has everything right now, from what I can tell. He's getting a handshake from Mike Phipps, and he's the man that he took the job from. But Mike has worked very closely with Vince Evans, and he realizes that Evans is also a superior athlete, just a great athlete.
Well, the way things are going for Green Bay today, clipping penalty. Negated a good run back by Mark Lee, and Dickey eludes the sack, gets the pass off, complete to the tight end Kaufman, and they gained about 5 yards on the play. Another good effort by Dickey.
Yes, it was. There are some officials who would have called him in the graphs with the defender, but not these officials. As you look at the Cowboy-Raiders game, that's 7-7 in the first quarter, and many of you will see that game after this game is over, but not here in Chicago.
Lee Coons comes in at linebacker. Tom Hicks gets a rest, and they mark it a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4 for Green Bay. Good effort by Dickey and Kaufman as Campbell had the blitz on. Nearly had the quarterback Dickey on the play. Gary Ellis met by 3 Bears behind the line of scrimmage. Alan Page, Al Harris, and Otis Wilson, the linebacker, number 55.
Alan Page playing his 200th consecutive game in the NFL, and that's a lot of football, and he says he wants to play one more year, and I'm sure that he's excited about the prospects for next year.
3rd down and 6 to go for Green Bay. Extra defensive back is in. You can see the rain is starting to collect a little bit down there, so it's pretty wet, but as they say in the sunnier climes, you don't have to shovel the rain. Dickey incomplete, intended for Lofton. Dickey under pressure with a safety blitz from Winford Gaines, number 36, but the Packers will have to punt.
Let's take a look at Alan Page, number 82, as he puts his pass rush forward. The Bears came with the blitz. Walter Scheid, Winford Gaines. There you can see Larry McCarron in the center. He's got a hold of him. He says, "You're not going anywhere." He's got him. He's got him. He's got him. No penalty. Can you believe that? That's football.
Beverly hits it from the 10-yard line. Short punt. Now a Packer bounce, and Walter Scheid's going to let it be down by the Pack at the Bear 40-yard line. Now, talking about Alan Page, Lofton came by prior to the game, made a point of coming over to see Alan Page, who was sitting down on the bench prior to the teams getting dressed, and said, "I just want to say hello. I've admired your play for a long time." A recognition by a young star of an older star. Evans continues at quarterback, at least for the time being, and Chris Haynes coming in at wide receiver, number 83. 36 seconds remaining here in the 3rd period, a 41-7 Chicago lead. Now Haynes, who went in, comes back out. Not happy about that. Trying to get some playing time. Pitch out, Peyton. Peyton gets about 3. Good defensive play by the Packer front on that one, and it was Charles Johnson, the nose tackle, with the hit. Look at this, Cincinnati, Johnny, with 12 seconds remaining, got a field goal from Jim Breach to go in front 34-33 over Baltimore. And it looks like the Bengals, who had led 31-6, are going to wind up winning it anyway, despite falling behind late in the game.
And that'll knock Baltimore out of any chance to win that Eastern Division, the AFC.
Well, that's the end of the 3rd quarter. With the score, the Chicago Bears 41, the Green Bay Packers 7. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Thursday, December 11th.
Soldier Field, and we are about to begin the 4th period. The rain is falling more steadily now. It is still mild, but it is awfully wet and uncomfortable down there. The Bears have 2nd and 8 at their own 43-yard line. Slot formation right. Evans still at quarterback. They get it out to Robin Earl, who's got a lot of running room. The tight end hit by Estes Hood, and then he gets help from Ed O'Neill, but it's a Bear 1st down at the Packer 39-yard line. Make it the 36.
The Bears went on, put Walter Payton out there on the flank, and they had 4 men running straight down the field. When Walter started running straight down the field, the Packers just went way back, and then Robin Earl just came underneath everybody.
Well, that crazy Baltimore-Cincinnati game is over, and the Bengals won it 34-33.
Now there goes Peyton taking everybody downfield. There's Walter. Let's go get him. And then underneath came Robin Earl. There wasn't anybody within 20 yards of him.
Well, I guess you got to pay attention to Walter Payton. Here's Peyton carrying off tackle left, and he burst through 2 holes. And he's pulled down by Johnny Gray inside the 20. Another Bears 1st down, and they're knocking on the door once more.
He's over 100 yards for the 41st time in his career, and he got some good blocks that time. He's 19 for 103 yards. He had Reeve Sorey, he had Noah Jackson, he had Roland Harper out front that time, and then turned on the speed.
Ricky Watts comes in for Bashnagel. Chris Haynes continues at the other wide receiver. First down, Chicago. They spotted it right at the 20-yard line of Green Bay.
Listen to these fans. You'd think that Minnesota lost today or something, wouldn't you?
Yes, the Bears are out of the playoff picture, remember, with the Minnesota victory over Tampa Bay. Roland Harper bashes his way over the 15-yard line behind Sorey and Dennis Lick. Pick up 7 yards. Second, and it'll be a long 3. It's about a 6.5-yard gain. They spotted at the 14-yard line of the Green Bay Packers. They're really having it handed to them today. Haynes out to the left, Bashnagel right. Payton, a big hole. Touchdown, Walter Payton with a pretty piece of running. And for Payton, his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon, and that one, the best of the 3.
What a great runner Walter Payton is. I think on that one typifies everything. A wet turf. He cut back behind the block, was hit, broke the tackle, and got himself into the end zone. Let's watch it. You'll see Reeve Sorey leading the way, and Roland Harper kicks his man out of a great block, and here comes the missed tackle. It was Johnny Gray as Walter cuts back and then puts his shoulder down and drives his way and drags 2 Green Bay Packers into the end zone. What a runner. Unbelievable.
Busy Bob Thomas makes another point after, and it is the Bears 48, the Packers 7. 59 yards in 5 plays, a 14-yard touchdown run for Walter Payton. The Bears will kick it off as the rain is heavier now and really teeming out there. It doesn't seem to be bothering the Chicago team at all as they continue to roll it up 48-7. Thomas will kick it off. Markley, the defensive line. Lee. Looks like he collided with one of his own men at the 29-yard line, and then a bunch of black shirts arrived, and the first one there was Al Harris, number 90.
There you take a look at Vince Evans, 316 yards, most by a Bear quarterback since 1970, and I think that was Jack Kincannon who threw for 300 and some yards during that year. But you know, football's a funny game as there's an injury on the field. The Bears haven't forgotten the first game of this year when they got beat on a fluke type of a play and lost to Green Bay. But I'm going to tell you something. Green Bay's not going to forget today, and Bears better watch out the next time they play.
There is Mike Phipps warming up on the sidelines. We expect that we will see him the next offensive series for the Bears. And meanwhile, the Packers have the ball. First down, just inside their own 30-yard line. Next Saturday, remember our national telecast, the Giants and the Redskins. The Redskins with a big upset over San Diego today. In motion is Fred Nixon. And it is David Whitehurst, the quarterback, and he is sacked by Gary Campbell on the first down play. Blitzing, Campbell had a free route. And David Whitehurst in for his first action is met by a Chicago linebacker. Loss of 10 yards on the play.
It's kind of a rough way for a quarterback to start. He had a little trouble getting a handle on the ball, and he had no chance as Campbell got through slick and clean, and down went Whitehurst. I don't know. Tough job coming in, losing 48-7, I'd say, for any quarterback. And there's the rain. He's all set, though.
David Whitehurst, fourth-year man from Furman. Did such a good job last year. Gary Ellis breaks away from 2 Bears tackles. Look at this guy. Ellis still going. Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And a flag down on the play could be a face mask against the Bears. There is a very determined young man, 48-7, the score against his team, and what an effort by that young guy acquired from the Rams. Late cut from the LA Rams. The Packers knew all about him. They grabbed him the first opportunity they had, and boy, how he's delivered.
Actually, the Bears got across the line of scrimmage so fast. That's what busted the play.
Personal foul, face mask, 5 yards, number 48, defense. First down.
Alan Page was across so fast, number 82. Tim Stokes blocking on him. And there is Ellis, and he says hi to Page, and he says, I'm leaving. And he gets away from Campbell and then turns on some determined running, as you said, right here. Nice move right here. He gets by Fensick, and then he drags the rest of the Chicago Bears for an extra few yards. Let's see if we can see the face mask. Tom Hicks bearing down, and so far I haven't seen it.
At the 40-yard line, Whitehurst off to Ellis. Ellis has got some room there. And Muckensturm stays with him. Another flag down away from the play out at midfield. But Ellis going right back to the other side of the field. Shows he can run to the right as well. Forced out at the 45-yard line is where they're going to mark it. It'll be a 5-yard gain. Looked like he had a little more. But the penalty is against the Green Bay Packers.
Offensive pass interference, number 82. First down.
Paul Kaufman, the tight end, and another unfortunate penalty for the Green Bay Packers after a good gain again by Ellis. Well, next Sunday, San Francisco at Atlanta, St. Louis at Philadelphia. That should be a good one. New Orleans at the New York Jets, Tampa Bay at Detroit. Johnny and I will be there, and of course the Lions in a dogfight right now with the St. Louis Cardinals. They're leading at 23-17. The Cardinals have kicked a field goal. Following football, next week in some areas, reseeding in others, the Mixed Team Golf Classic. Whitehurst scrambling, and he got the ball to Lofton, but he was hit, and the ball popped loose and was nearly picked off downfield. Good pass by Whitehurst, but Schmidt arrived at the same time as the ball did and popped Lofton.
Well, Whitehurst has to run. See the spin by number 82, Alan Page. He takes 2 men with him. Whitehurst has to go forward here. Al Harris keeps up the pressure, keeps running after him. Whitehurst feels him, and there he takes a little punishment from Hartenstein and Harris, but he got the pass off. Incomplete. By the way, Donna Hartenstein, Mike's wife, had a baby the other day, a 7-pound baby boy.
Second and 20. Ellis hit behind the line by Osborne, breaks that tackle, but did not get much more. The Bears close him down at the right side. The safety linebacker Muckensturm and the safety Gary Fensick on the tackle. Winless New Orleans in front of San Francisco, 14-0. With 2:07 remaining first period. Now there's how that one looks in the fourth quarter with the Lions. 23, the Cardinals 17. The Lions win, they'll be 8-6 along with the Minnesota Vikings. Third down. May. Another flag down, the pass is intercepted. Lenny Wallerscheid. Did he get in? David Whitehurst with a great effort. Yes, it's a touchdown, but a flag is down upfield. What an effort by David Whitehurst, giving up his body at the goal line. His helmet came off as he collided with Wallerscheid, although he did not stop him from going in, but there was a flag down upfield.
I believe the Bears were offsides unless they were pulled offsides by motion, which they were, so it's a touchdown.
Illegal motion was the penalty against Green Bay. And so the touchdown will stand, and they go to 54-7, and the rain is really pouring.
You can see all the motion around, the movement around the offensive line. Here comes Wallerscheid. He goes for it, takes his chance. The pass was thrown a little bit off the mark. Ivory was running the other way. No chance he was going to get him, and it was Whitehurst who did sacrifice himself, trying to prevent this touchdown. Good tackle as the helmet came off.
36-yard interception, and watch Whitehurst. Boy, here's a kid that, you know, he didn't have to do this in a game like this. He's a competitor.
Pretty good tackle.
Off came the helmet. Thomas got the point after. And we are now up to 55-7. A dismal day for Green Bay. Quite an afternoon from the Bears, who already know that they've been eliminated from the NFC Central playoffs with a victory by Minnesota earlier.
Hello? Who's that?
The Packers 7. Fred Nixon, the deep man for Green Bay, awaiting the kickoff. There are still 11 minutes and 11 seconds to play in this football game. I'm sure they'd all like to go home about now. Nixon from the 6. He's got some room on the sideline. Fred Nixon all the way down to the 36-yard line of Chicago. John Skibinski, the last man, put the stop on him. So these Packers have got some players out there who are not about to quit. We saw the effort of Whitehurst. We see the run back by Nixon, a dandy. 54 yards.
If it hadn't been for Skibinski, because Nixon was on the go, and you can watch Bob Thomas, he wasn't going to make the tackle. He's a kicker. You're going to see, there's Haynes missing. It's Skibinski with a tackle, and there's Thomas backpedaling, saying, watch out, guys, protect my ankles, protect my ankles. I got a kick.
First down, Green Bay at the Bears' 40-yard line. Nixon, number 84, is split wide left with Lofton in the slot. Whitehurst continues at quarterback. He gives it to Turdell Middleton, number 34, his first carry of the day, and the Bears shut him down. Dallas has gone in front of Oakland 10-7 in the second period. A field goal by Raphael Septien from 52 yards away. Many of you will be seeing that game following our telecast. And after a long day of football on CBS, you've got this to look forward to this evening. 60 Minutes, followed by Archie Bunker's Place. One day at a time, Alice, the Jeffersons, and the very popular Trapper John M.D. Second down, a loss of 2. It is 12 to go. Nixon in motion. Whitehurst, he's got Lofton open, and it's incomplete, just off his fingertips. Lofton wide open as Walterscheid on the coverage slipped on the wet turf.
Pretty good pass by Whitehurst, as Lofton was open because Walterscheid slipped. And you see here, as he turns for the ball, it's right where it should be. He puts both hands up there like that. Rather than trying to bring it in, he put his hands up to it. And sometimes you got to use that body. You got to use that stomach. Bring the ball in.
This is the first game action by David Whitehurst. He came off a knee injury, got back into the lineup. They had Steve Mazarkowitz in as a backup. Under pressure, he is sacked, but a flag is down. Sacked back at the 48 of Green Bay.
Lofton moved too soon at the line of scrimmage, so it's going to be against the Packers, and obviously the Bears will decline it.
New Orleans Saints fans, your Saints are up 21-0 over San Francisco in the second period. They got to win one sometime. Kansas City in front of Denver 7-0.
Offense refused. Fourth down.
So the illegal motion refused, and the Packers will have to punt. Walterscheid, the weak punt returner, awaiting it at the 13-yard line of the Bears. 10:04 remaining regulation time. I don't think we'll have to worry about overtime. Beverly hits it from his 40. Walterscheid from the 16. Picks his way up the sideline, and another flag is down as he goes out of bounds at the 27-yard line. The Giants lead Seattle 6-0 in the second period on a pair of Joe Danello field goals. That game at the Kingdom in Seattle. Holding is the preliminary signal against the Bears. Mike Phipps is coming in at quarterback, number 15. Started the season with this job, coming off a good year a season ago. Couldn't get the Bears moving. They had those mishaps, including the first game loss in overtime to these same Packers.
Number 46, first down.
And he was getting quite a welcome from the other Bears out on the field. Mike did a lot for this team last year, had a good second half of the season as they made the playoffs.
We've got a timeout on the field with 9:52 to go. The Bears 55, the Packers 7. Coming off a big upset. The Mixed Team Golf Classic, also the same Saturday next on CBS, and the Sports Spectacular with the World Junior Figure Skating Championships and a fun event, the Great American Truck Race. That's really a sight to see. And so Mike Phipps is in with John Skabinski and McClendon, the running backs, now as the Bears are substituting freely. McClendon works his way out for a gain of about 5. And McClendon, the second-year man from Georgia, gets his first carry today. They also have 3 offensive line substitutes in. Dan Jiggets and Rocco Moore at tackles. Paul Tabor, number 53, at center. Now Payton and Harper come back in on 2nd and 4 after a 6-yard gain by Willie McClendon.
You mean they took Willie out? Here he has to play behind Walter Payton all this year, never gets to play, and he comes in for 1 play?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I'm sure they have a reason, but I'm not hearing it. Roland Harper out to the 30-yard line. Has the first down for the Bears. Linebacker Bruce Beakley made the tackle, number 58, the first-year man from Oregon, getting some playing time. Casey Merrill is in defensively for Green Bay, number 78. Terry Jones, number 63, in on the nose. 72, Kit Lathrop. So both teams getting all of their extras in for some work. First down, Bears. Fisher in motion. Payton. Johnny Gray pushes him out with help from Mike Jolly. And Payton picked up about 4 yards before he was pushed out at the 35-yard line. St. Louis has gone back in front of Detroit 24-23 with 3:40 remaining in the game. So the Lions in some jeopardy. A 57-yard punt return by Roy Green burning the Lions. Payton comes out with those numbers. McClendon back in. Sweetness indeed. Skabinski and McClendon. John Skabinski, former Purdue star, rocks his way out close to the 40-yard line, short of the first down, however. Ryan Cabral on the tackle.
Excuse me, Tim. It's good to see Skabinski in there. He's been on the special teams most of the year, getting a chance to play. He's a good hard runner down in from LaSalle, Peru area, down here in middle Illinois.
3rd and short. They bring in the 2 tight ends. Earl joining Fisher. Skabinski is dumped forward and should have the first down. Terry Jones put the hit on him, but inadvertently, by doing so, threw him forward for the first down yardage. Coming next, most of you will see Dallas at Oakland, and the score in that one, the Cowboys 16-7 over Oakland with 10:46 still to play in the first half. Art Starr, wet and unhappy on the Packers sideline. Payton again. Knocked out of bounds close to the first down marker.
Every time Payton goes off the field, we expect that that's the end of the day for him. And the next thing I look up, he's in the ball game. I guess they're trying to get him a 200-yard day, Walter Payton, because the game is in no doubt. It's 55-7.
Well, great running by Payton. Nonetheless, the yards are a little easier to come by at this point. McClendon is back in. 2nd and about a foot. Skabinski, the lead back in the eye. Willie McClendon, good hole, off tackle left. McClendon, he could score. McCoy chasing him, and did he get in or not? No. Forced out at the 1-yard line. Mike McCoy from behind. And the Bears are threatening to go over the 60 mark. The last time they had a score anything like this, 1965, they beat San Francisco 61-20.
And there's McClendon, a good block by Dan Jiggets. He pushes off of Jiggets, goes down the field, and watch the block by Chris Haynes, number 83. He cleared his man, and then McClendon, who stumbled slightly, took it almost to the end zone before McCoy brings him down with help from Johnny Gray.
First and goal from the 2-yard line. Gale Sayers scored 6 touchdowns in that game back in 1965 when the Bears beat the 49ers 61-20.
Oh.
McClendon, touchdown. What a pretty play. Some great faking by Phipps. And nobody knew who had the ball. McClendon did. He's in the end zone. It is 61-7.
Willie McClendon has waited a long time for that touchdown. He's had to sit on the bench a long time to watch the great Walter Payton play. Now he's getting a chance to show what he could do. He got a good block from John Skabinski and gave us a first-class spike in the end zone. Watch number 30, John Skabinski. Robin Earl throws his block, and 30, Skabinski just straightens up McCoy, sticks with him, and it was just romp in there. And here comes the spike by Willie McClendon.
Well, it's blocked. Twice today, the Packers have come up with a block point after. I think it was Cabral. If it wasn't Cabral, it was Wiley Turner, number 20. Well, we have 6:36 remaining in this football game. An 89-yard drive and 8 plays for another Bears touchdown. And they love the Bears today for sure. 61-7.
I guess the most points the Bears have ever scored was that 73-0 game back in 1941.
40 years
there
ago.
It is right there. 1941 it was. They won the title. The Bears would have to score 2 more touchdowns to break that. I hope they don't do it.
6:36 to go. They certainly have the time to do it. This has to be a very demoralized Packer team, and yet we see several individual efforts sticking out. We saw the block point after there, and we saw Whitehurst's effort at the goal line. Gary Ellis. Atlanta beat the Eagles 20-17, and Atlanta goes to 11-3. The Bills beat the Rams 10-7, so the Rams fall to 9-5 in second place in the NFC West. Big one for the Vikings, and that eliminated the Bears from playoff contention. This was a wild one. The Bengals with a late field goal after leading 31-6. They needed a late field goal to win it. Browns, a key game for them. A win over the Jets 17-14. Thomas's kickoff is taken by Nixon at the 5. Nixon, another good return for this speedy young receiver, out over the 35 to the 37. Skabinski made the tackle there. Fred Nixon, a rookie from Oklahoma. Number 4 pick by the Pack this year. 30-yard return.
We have the Redskins beating the Chargers 40-17, so San Diego's record drops to 9-5, and that be an important game. The open Dallas game will be important as far as the Western Division of the AFC is concerned. Here's the Cardinals and Lions 24-23. Is that a final? No, that's fourth quarter.
No, but it's very late for the Lions. Whitehurst on first down. Whitehurst complete to Lofton. Lofton shakes a tackle and gets inside the 40-yard line to the 38 for the Green Bay Packers. And you might say that play has opened up a little bit here in this fourth quarter. David Whitehurst. This is his first action this season. He's spotted at the 39, a Packer first down. Time counting at 5:50 to play. Lofton has made 5 catches today for 91 yards. He leads the NFC in yardage gained receiving. Whitehurst complete to Lofton at the 20. Into the 18-yard line where Becker, number 49, and Walterscheid, number 23, pull him down.
Lofton is going to surely, unless he gets injured before the season is over, break the record for yardage held by a Packer wide receiver, or a receiver, I should say. Billy Houghton had 1,231 yards in 1952 as a rookie for Green Bay.
5 new new defensive substitutes in as the Packers have taken it inside the 20 of Chicago. Brent Nixon goes wide right. Cassidy is wide left. Nixon incomplete. He slipped as he made his cut, could not keep the ball in his fingertips. Pass was there from Whitehurst.
Whitehurst is looking pretty good. He's been throwing some very nice passes.
Second and 10. In come Winford Gaines and Jerry Muckensturm. Out come Otis Wilson and Al Harris. On second and 10. Running backs for Green Bay are Trudell Middleton and Vicky Ray Anderson, number 44. A first-year man from Oklahoma out of the Canadian Football League. And that is Anderson trying off tackle left and getting about a yard before Alan Page put the brakes on him. And now let's go to Brent Musburger for a report on that game between the Lions and the Cardinals.
All right, Tim Ryan, here's a break from that track meet you're covering out in Soldier Field. Skladany back to punt. The Lions at the time clinging to a 6-point lead, and here comes Green for the Cardinals. 57 yards in the touchdown. The extra point put the Cards up by 1. You know the significance. Minnesota at 8-6. The Lions must win. Back to Tim Ryan.
All right, thank you very much. And, of course, that's a game of interest to fans in the Central Division. Pass intended for Lofton is incomplete from Whitehurst. Next week, Johnny and I will be in Detroit when Tampa Bay moves in there, and it'll be another crucial in this Central Division race. If the Lions lose to the Cardinals, they will fall to 7-7. Minnesota has won today, and they are now 8-6 and would be alone atop the Central Division. 4th down and 9. Packers will naturally go. Lofton in the slot right. Nixon, Cassidy, the other wide receivers. And we had a timeout call to get a dry football in there as rain continues to fall here in Chicago. Packers don't like to play here, as you can see. Whitehurst. Lofting to the end zone for Lofton, and it's incomplete. So the Bears will take over the ball, and David Whitehurst will head for the Packers bench. Quickly, some other scores. Dallas leading Oakland 16-10. 6:29 remaining in the second quarter. We'll be going to that game. Many of you will see it. Kansas City leading Denver 14-0 in the second period. The Giants now in front of Seattle 13-0 in the second period. The New Orleans Saints in front of San Francisco 21-7 also in the second quarter. We have 4:02 remaining here at Soldier Field. The ball on the 18-yard line. All that rain coming down could have been snow. Might have been a different ball game here today. Who knows? But December 7th, like springtime in Chicago. This afternoon, John Skabinski hit by Johnny Gray coming up from his safety spot, heading forward to the 25-yard line for a pickup of about 7. Mike Phipps at quarterback, replacing Vince Evans, who left this game with some kind of an afternoon. It'll be second and a long 3. Evans was 18 for 22, 316 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hard to improve on that. McClendon, the tailback in the eye behind Skabinski. McClendon, number 37. Cuts it back well as a first down and another flag. Well, we have had a bunch of penalties.
We may have a record for penalties. We ought to check and see how many penalties these two teams have had today.
Bears had the first down yardage, but holding is signaled against Chicago.
I'm trying to figure out what 18 for 22 is in the pass percentage. That's got to be about 90%, isn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, it better be, or we all got to go back to kindergarten math. But
that's an unbelievable percentage, 18
sure
for 22.
Holding, offense,
Robert Fisher, the rookie tight end, is called for holding. It'll bring up 2nd and 13 for the Bears.
It's only 82%.
82%. I'm glad you worked that out there because I couldn't have done it in my head, I'll tell you that. McClendon and Skavinsky in the throw set. Draw play McClendon. Bumps off one blocker and gets forward over the 20 to the 22. A gain of about 6, maybe 7 yards for Willie McClendon. And it'll be 3rd down and 6. 4 Packer defenders come on, 4 go off. Lee, number 77, Butler, comes back out to provide some pass rush. And they've got 6 defensive backs in on this 3rd down play. Phipps complete to Skavinsky. Close to the 1st down. 4 Packers are there. Gray, McCoy, linebacker Douglas. And he got the 1st down. Mike Phipps delivering to John Skavinsky. We're approaching the 2-minute warning. Gratefully for all concerned.
What do you mean by that?
61-7. A rout for the Chicago Bears on a rainy day in Chicago. The stands there. She's a pretty young lady and seems to enjoy the action despite having a little soggy hair. 61-7 with 2 minutes to play in the game. Bears going to go into their 2-minute drill here, Johnny?
I don't think so. I think
slot formation left. In motion, Watts. Straight ahead, Skavinsky. Hit by Bruce Beakley, first-year man from Oklahoma, number 58. Pickup of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Walter Payton had himself quite an afternoon.
And Walter is probably really itchy on the sidelines. He's one of these players that's totally dedicated to the game, and he just can't stand to be watching other people play. And I know he's, as great a day as it's been for him, he's probably just itching to be back out in the field. As you look at a few of the fans who are left, I'd say the stadium is about half empty now because the outcome is not in doubt and avoid all the traffic if they can.
Payton left with 130 yards, if indeed he has left. We assume he has. Watts. 1st down for Ricky Watts, putting the head down into Estes Hood's tackle and getting it to the 45-yard line. Make it the 44 of the Chicago Bears. Out of bounds, stop the clock at 1:09. Hey, New Orleans leading San Francisco 28-7, Johnny. Boy, you just got to pull for those guys to win one today. I mean, my goodness. Kansas City leading Denver 21-0. And there is the final score. The Cardinals beat the Lions 24-23. So Minnesota is alone atop the Central Division. McClendon shrugs off one tackle and gets out near midfield for a gain of 5.
I have to tell you that this feels like the longest game I've ever done in my life. This game.
Well, it's now 4:15. We've been here a while, but it's ticking away here with 50 seconds remaining and counting.
How would you like to go to Bart Starr's press conference after this game?
2nd and 5. I think I'll pass. I'll read about that in the papers. 2nd down at midfield. 30 seconds to go. School will be out. There's Bart Starr, a lonely vigil on the sideline. McClendon out of bounds, close to the 46-yard line. 17 seconds left. These are the people responsible for our production today. Don Ellis and Bob Dunphy on site, along with Paul Arndt. Richard Shapiro from Chicago, right at home here. Mike Piniella, and thanks to audio people Ken Wilkie and Mike Havertz. It'll be 3rd down and a yard. And also thanks to all of the technicians whose names did not appear because of time considerations. We thank them all. A lot of them getting wet out there, our cameramen, and we do appreciate it. Those down there pulling the cables and all the other people to make it all work. Skavinsky straight ahead trying to get the 1st down yardage, and he has it, and that ought to do it with 10 seconds ticking away. The Chicago Bears are out of the playoffs, but they had themselves some fun today. 61-7 with a great afternoon from Vince Evans and Walter Payton. The final score, the Chicago Bears 61, the Green Bay Packers 7, and both of these teams are out of the NFC Central. So for Johnny Morris, this is Tim Ryan saying so long from soggy Soldier Field and reminding you the NFL on CBS will continue after this word from your local station.
Who would dare to...
It's time for the Pro Report with Johnny Morris and Bruce Roberts. And now here's Bruce.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Pro Report. Oh, what a game, what highlights. Johnny Morris will be at Soldier Field with his guests in just a moment. We'll have all the scores and highlights, one of which took place in Tampa, unfortunately, where the Vikings eliminated the Bears and Bucs, rallying for a 21-10 win. The Bucs were leading 3-0 in the second quarter when Doug Williams, under severe pressure, threw this 30-yard TD pass to Kevin House. Fine reception here. This gave Tampa Bay a 10-0 lead, but Minnesota came back to win it 21-10. And we'll have more highlights, all the scores, in just one moment.
Santa.
What happened to the Bears? Let us take a look at what has happened around the NFL this afternoon. As we mentioned, the Vikings eliminated Tampa Bay and Chicago with their win over the Bucs. The Cardinals, this just in, beat the Lions 24-23. The Falcons upset the Eagles. The Bills beat the Rams in overtime. They take a 2-game NFC Western lead over L.A. The Bengals upset the Colts. The Browns edged the Jets. The Redskins, the upset of the day over the Chargers. In late starting games, these are all in the second quarter. The Giants, a surprise 13-0 over the Seahawks. Talk about surprises. The Saints 28-7 over the 49ers in the second. Elsewhere, the Chiefs 21-0 over the Broncos. And the Cowboys lead the Raiders 16-10. Now let's take a look at some of the highlights, shall we? In Atlanta, 17-14 win over Philadelphia. Jaworski, his 26 TD pass, 22-yarder to Harold Carmichael. The Eagles took a 14-0 lead. Watch the halfback option TD pass, Louis Giamona to Joe Spagnuolo. But Atlanta came back 14-0. The third quarter, Bartkowski throwing to Wallace Francis for an 11-yard TD.